Got all my Christmas wrapping done about 4 minutes ago.
Fucking shit.
I was really pushing the line. Well, I had half of it done this morning.
I still got like a fucking shit ton to do. A fucking shit ton.
It's my fault at the end of the day because I actually had all of it done this morning, but my wife was at work and I went in town and hung out with her little sister and we put our minds together and kind of bought some more stuff for my wife. You go. So I had to come back and wrap up more gifts.
Yeah, I did my wrapping like 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, I'm lazy and a procrastinator.
I got a fucking shit ton of gifts, and I think about maybe a quarter of them are actually wrapped. Yeah. So
to be fair, the only ones I wrap are the ones that are actually for my girlfriend. So
damn,
she wraps all the others.
I'm very fortunate this year that I'm on like a 4-day weekend kind of status, and I'm trying my best to make these days go by slow. But its first day is already gone.
Oh yeah,
first day is destroyed. So hopefully the next few days are going to go slow, which I know is probably not going to happen. Christmas Eve is the day this year that we have to go all over Hell's Half Acre and do all the family stuff. So that day is going to fly. So hopefully my Sunday and Tuesday, actual Christmas Day, can go by kind of slow. We'll see.
Yeah, it's always...
Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry.
You
I'm sorry.
son
No,
of a
let's
bitch.
pull that
Fuck
back.
you.
DJ,
Fuck you.
DJ, reel it
Fuck
back.
you.
DJ, reel that back. All right, I'll let you know, DJ. I'll let you know, okay? Adam, go right ahead.
Oh, man, now it's all hyped up. I was just saying, no, it's
I'm gonna
fucking
fire the
always,
fuck
it's
out of
always
that
dumb
DJ.
when you fucking, your day ends up getting like segmented by like different events.
Yes.
And that's how every single one of my days goes. It's like, get home and I've got like 2 hours before I need to make dinner. So, you know, it's like, okay, what can I do for exactly 2 hours? And then, boom, you know, I've got the next 2 hours after I make dinner is usually like an hour and a half because, you know, get everybody set at the table and get the food cooked and all that. And then, boom, okay, what am I going to do now? And then I've got another maybe an hour and a half till it's bedtime. And then the final 4 hours of the day, asterisk, if nothing comes up, I'll have to myself if I don't feel like passing out at like 9. So,
you know what? Let's do this. Let's talk about time off. Yeah, you know, let's talk about free time because I think this is good. This is a very, very important topic to us three because our main hobby, our main pastime, our main we're not at work thing is games. I don't think that this is something that necessarily caters just to us. I think if you're a human fucking being with a job, I'm not even talking about the kids yet. I'm talking about a job. Mm-hmm. You get off of your 8 hours of work, you'll say a half an hour to work, half an hour from home. That's being on the bad side. After your 9 hours of the day are gone, plus the 8 hours you need for sleep, what are you going to spend the rest of your hours doing? And I agree, man. This is why I feel like such an asshole sometimes when people are like, "Hey, do you want to go out and do this thing?" And I'm like,
"I'll sit on my ass."
I really
house.
don't want to. And on the one hand, it looks like, well, wow, he's just antisocial, or oh wow, he doesn't want to come hang out with this person, or oh wow, he doesn't do anything but sit home and play games. Man, it's not. I don't think this caters to that. It's not just games. I think anybody out there that has a pastime, aside from, say, just fucking watching TV, you know, just being glued to a TV and waiting for the shows to come on, everybody has something that they like to do. And when I am at work all day, I'm not bragging. I'm not putting a feather in my cap. I'm not pointing fingers up or down at anybody else. I'm talking about me. At my job, I'm on my feet all day. I'm running all day. I'm doing a lot of manual. I fucking work my ass off all day. So when I get home and I'm good and I'm clear, the first thing that comes to my mind is not, oh man, what 6 places can I go now? It's, whew, I'm home. I can relax. I can spend, insert however many justifiable hours I deem fit to whatever I want to do. And I agree, Adam. I don't even have the kid aspect yet. I already know that's going to change when I have kids. So that there goes more hours of my day gone. Fine. Going to raise my kids. Going to do the right thing.
And what I was saying is it's not even just you spent this amount of time doing shit. It's, hey, check this out. You only have this much time until you need to start doing this other thing. It's like dinner's got to get made. So what needs to happen before that? Oh, well, fucking table's got to get cleared off, and I need to make sure we got the dishes cleared, all this other. Yeah, that shit fucking piles up quick. Hella quick.
Plus the general human nature things of I gotta take a bath, I gotta brush my teeth, I have to make and or eat dinner, food, whatever. Exercise, clothes have to be done, dishes have to be washed, yard may have to be mowed, and then oh God help you, like I'll tell you about in my week, some fucking holy hell shit goes wrong with your house you live in.
Yep.
And it's just, say, Chris, what do you think on all this?
Yeah, I mean it's been the same way for me, especially like what I really hate is I'm like when I get a day off work, but then I'm not actually relaxing. Like my trip, Thanksgiving, I took 5 days essentially off, to drive down there. But in reality, or it's like 6 days total, quote unquote, vacation time. But I've got 2 days traveling there, 2 days traveling back. And then, Thanksgiving, that day's, driving all over the place or visiting people and stuff. It's like, well, sure, I had 6 days off work, but how much time did I actually have to do anything?
One day where you kind of got to choose.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, I did choose.
And
I chose to do the podcast.
No, that's what I'm saying is that it was like we had already decided that's what's going to happen. So if you'd just been feeling lazy that day, too bad. You got something to do.
Yeah, but that morning I got to go play putt-putt,
There you go.
Yeah.
It's always good to play putt-putt. But
that's also how I measure my days like that. When I get, now that I'm a normal person, I say that with big quotes. Now that I work a morning job and I have evenings off and weekends off pretty much, when I think about the weekends, I'm already planning Saturday and Sunday come Monday. I'm thinking, okay, what do we have to do this weekend? Is there grocery shopping? Is there something coming up? Is there an event we have to go to? Is there a gathering or what? And if there's nothing, Monday, Tuesday at the latest, I'm already, man, I cannot wait. Can't wait to wake up Saturday and enjoy all these hours. It's the moment that something comes up, like something breaking your house or something you forgot you needed to go do, and it's like, well, there's 4 hours of my day gone. I hate it.
Yeah,
adult life, right?
Right, man. Yeah, it's like that for me every fucking day.
Yeah, y'all with kids, man. It's just I know it's coming, and I'm mentally preparing for it. But
now I've got that.
As I look to you, Adam, and you as well, Chris, because you both have kids, and anytime anybody tells me, it's like, oh man, because you know how dude bros are, and dude gals are. Like, when you have kids, you might as well just toss them video games away. You ain't gonna have time. I'm like, so when you had kids, you didn't do anything else. So you're telling me you didn't watch TV, you didn't go play this, you didn't go hang out with people, you just ditched a whole. Don't bullshit me, man. And I go, I got two fucking fellow podcasters that have kids. They still play games. Now, do they play games like we did in high school? No, because even I don't play games like I did in high school. But it's not like your hobbies just disappear once you have kids. You just tailor those hobbies around your children specifically. That's the way I see it.
It's very true. But I mean, you gotta think how many hours could you sink into something like a Persona game? And me, I'm like, I got an hour here. I got 2 hours there. Oh man, I got a 4 hour day. Fuck yeah.
But see, that just makes me understand that it's just going to take longer. much longer. Man, I'm fine with that. If the game is that good, I mean, it would suck if, me and Chris both got Persona 6 at the same time and he beat it within 2 months, but it took me the whole year. But hey, man, the point is, I'm not going to quit gaming just because. I don't think anybody should have to quit a sound, non-hurtful hobby or anything just because you have kids. When I was growing up, my dad didn't stop hunting and fishing because I was born.
No, he found a way to squeeze that time in there. But that's going back to the beginning of this conversation. We're talking about the Christmas presents. That's probably the main reason I can't get those fucking things wrapped. Because I have to find a spot. I have to find a slot in time where it is not only where I have the time to do it, to sit down and wrap presents for like a fucking hour and a half, 2 hours. But I also have to have it where they're not going to ever get up and catch me in the middle of it. So I'm like, well, I could do it from 8 to 10, maybe, if none of them get up, which is like a 50-50 gamble times 3. So it's like, so I've been waiting on a day where I can just get out of the house and take care of business somewhere. Now, it'll probably take me another hour and a half to get all the rest of them wrapped. It's a fucking shit ton of them. Oh my god! And I've never been that like handicraft guy. I always had like somebody else to wrap the presents for me. Not this year. This year it's all me. So
just wrap them in a big ball of paper, put one piece of tape on it, and say, it's cute. The dog.
I'm gonna be that
it.
guy. I'm gonna be that guy that goes to Walmart and gets a bunch of fucking bags and some of that little tissue paper.
2 years ago, that's what I did.
Yep.
I wrapped a handful of them, and everything else was in a bag.
Nice.
This year, I wrapped everything. I finished it. And I, sent my girlfriend a text saying, I'm done. I'm not wrapping anything else until next year. Turns out there's something I forgot to wrap. So that's going in the stocking.
Savage.
Yep. All I know is Christmas is a holiday. Christmas Eve is for places is pretty much a holiday as well. And I'm year by year, and I mean this has been years and years ago, decades ago. I've just slowly got away from feeling like Christmas was a day off. It's a day off from work. It's not necessarily a full off day. So, but it is fun. It's always good to spend time with family and stuff. The presents things, though, man. Do you, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Do you two get bothered by family members and being like, "Hey, what do you want for Christmas?" Do they do that? Do they pester you?
Yeah. I get a lot of that. Like, what do you want? You know what I want? I want some peace, fucking quiet, and a day to myself. That's what I want. Doing
like, I have family members doing like CIA undercover detective work, trying to find out what to get me for Christmas, and I'm like, man, I buy stuff throughout the year for myself. I buy stuff for my wife throughout the year. We buy each other stuff. I don't know what you want this magical list of me to just pop up and go, these are the 16 things I want. I don't want anything. What I want is to relax and spend time with family for Christmas.
Probably already have it. It's called a Steam wish list.
I do.
And you just go, like, here's your link.
Know how to operate.
And you go, well, I guess you don't love me. And you hang up the phone.
Oh, God. Hello, everyone. And welcome to the end of time. I'm Michael.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Adam.
Oh, man. Nice. Family just doesn't love you if they don't give to you. You just didn't care enough. You telling me you didn't Google how to use the internet? Come on.
I'm the kind of guy that checks the back of the card for Hallmark. If it doesn't, then I cut them out of the will.
Chris, let me ask you a question, brother, before we get into news and weeks and all that shit.
All right.
What happened to Squaresoft, man? What really happened? I mean, you're laughing, but this is a serious thing, man.
I know.
I'm bringing this question to you because Adam and I, we pretty much work together and we talk about things now and again. And this was like a soul crushing question that we brought up the other day. And the more I keep thinking about it, the more genuinely sad I get. Squaresoft used to be something. For one, it ain't even Squaresoft no more. I get that part, but.
Right.
They used to be something, man. They had, look, we got this tried, true, tested Final Fantasy series for one. But hey, just because we have the fucking balls, we're going to make a shmup game, and we're going to make a fighting game, and we're going to make other kinds of RPGs. We are at the top of our game. And now they're not that. They're nowhere near that, Chris. What happened, man?
That's a good question.
Pretty sure you make a lot of money if you could answer that for the Square CEO.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, really, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, really, a lot of people talk about the point in time when the downhill started was when they merged with Enix. But
yeah,
I don't know if that's a hard cut or not. I mean, if it is, because I would have to actually look at release dates along with that to confirm. But that was part of the Kingdom Hearts thing when we talked about it.
So you're saying we probably had to do a little bit of homework before that topic.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, if you look at it, I kind of did do a little bit of homework. I think we both did when we were looking at it, but they were already kind of going downhill in my mind. Final Fantasy VIII wasn't as good as Final Fantasy VII to me. Final Fantasy IX was even worse, and I was already out at 10. I want to say right after 10 is when the merger happened. It was like...
Yeah, it was April 1st, 2003 was the Square Enix.
So yeah, right around that time, that's when I was out. You know, at that point, they had already burned through their goodwill on the Final Fantasy series. And I think a lot of that had to do with some of the, and I've gone into this before, but they had some Final Fantasy VII was great and it was terrible for different reasons. It kind of cemented that art style as being like acceptable, you know? And like we've talked about it before, but like it devolved from, okay, well now we've got kind of outrageous clothing, you know, everybody's kind of wearing some semi-realistic, but just a little bit, you know, audacious kind of looking clothing. Look at Cloud, look at Tifa, look at, you know, Yuffie, Vincent, yeah. Then look at Final Fantasy VIII, and they start having like little keychains and fucking extra belts and shit.
All regular looking people.
Final Fantasy IX, they tried to make it a little bit different, you know. They still had Kuja wearing a thong the entire fucking time. And then Final Fantasy X came out, and they have a chick wearing nothing but belts as a dress. Okay, now I'm saying that, you know, the art isn't the only thing that killed this, but just from a design philosophy, I think that the characters started falling off. They started going for, oh man, this guy will be memorable because he's wacky, you know, or because he's the guy that has the belt for an eyeball or some shit, you know, and stopped really caring about, okay, well let's make this a slow, gradual development instead of like a turning point kind of development. Like this guy's an asshole up until he changes. I don't know.
And all this is only talking about Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
You know, we're not talking about them. I know enough that there's arguments out there that can be made for, hey, Square Enix still pushes the envelope. I mean, they do have the Chris, what was that game that they put out last year? They made a sequel to this year. It featured the two young girls, and it was kind of about magic. Shit, I can't remember the name of this game.
No clue.
We'll take a look into that. We'll get our fact checker on that. Life is Strange.
Oh, I was going to say, are you talking about Life is Strange?
Yeah, so there you go. You got kind of like a graphic novel, sort of, you know, choose your own adventure style story, kind of text-based, not text-based, but like Mass Effect, you know, pick your own solution kind of shit. Okay, there's that. Sure, whatever. And then I guess the Quiet Man tried something. Sure. Much in the same way that like Guys tried to be a fighting game and just didn't quite match up. But even then, this is what I was thinking about. When I think of the PlayStation era, PlayStation 1 era, if of course you got Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, that's not including the Final Fantasy remakes and the re-releases and all that shit. But you had at least 3 games, 3 Final Fantasies. There was Guys, a fighting game. There was Einhander, a shmup. There was Parasite Eve, an action RPG-ish. There was Xenogears, another RPG. I mean, you could just rattle off these. Like, look, they went around. They tried different things.
Yeah. Don't forget about your front missions and your
Phantom mission.
Not Vandal Hearts, but what the fuck was it called? Vagrant Story.
Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy Tactics. I mean, you could just... I realize that I'm lumping in an entire
Saga
era.
Frontier.
I get that. Saga Frontier. The Legend of Mana. I mean, you could just look at PlayStation Squaresoft releases, and there's got to be more than 10. There's a couple handfuls of games. And a good half of those handfuls are good games. And I know the PlayStation 4 era isn't over, and the PlayStation 3 one pretty is. What all did we have on the PlayStation 3 from Square? The fact that I have to go look that up, the fact that I have to go to a Google and type in PlayStation 3 Square Enix games, that upsets me. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Look at PlayStation 4. I mean, you got Final Fantasy 15. Whoop-de-woo, there's a one right off the bat. And sure, Dragon Quest 11, I'll give you that one too. But I don't have two fucking hot red barrel shotguns going off going, that's a game, and look at all this stuff they're trying. I miss that company. I miss that Squaresoft. I miss, even brush Final Fantasy aside. I'm over Final Fantasy's not coming out and not blowing my mind anymore. Squaresoft was not just Final Fantasy back in the day. That's not the only thing they were. That was their biggest pole. That was their biggest flag, yes. But they were like, yeah, we dip our hands in all kind of other things. We'll just fucking throw some shit out there. Today it's you'll get a Final Fantasy, and you'll get a Dragon Quest, and fucking I don't know, man.
Something maybe we'll put out Tomb Raider or something like that.
You know, while we're on the topic, I had thought about something the other day, thinking about how the 7 remakes never come out, thinking about all the terrible things Adam was, mentioning that we don't ever want to see. But then I had a thought, and that thought was, what if it's good? Yeah. What if the remake is actually good?
Yeah.
Then they'll milk it for every fucking dime they can get out of it. Paid DLC, you'll be able to bling out the high wind with fucking spinners and shit.
All right, we're being positive here, okay?
If it's good, you might actually see them. Best case scenario, they revert to their old style and try to bring back the old feel of RPGs. Worst case,
well, I don't think they're going to do that.
Worst case, they're going to go in a very different direction. At the very least, you're going to charge up their ability to make Final Fantasy 16 if it's good. Everybody will be hyped for it, and they'll be like, "Oh, maybe Square's back on their game." People will be writing articles like, "Oh man, the guy who directed the remake is going to do this next game," and blah 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 blah. There are some positives I see coming out of it, but I don't see any major policy shifts internally at Square happening, regardless of how it does.
Do we think, gentlemen, I'm sure we could do some research on this to figure out somewhat concrete answers, but do we think that one of the reasons, if not the biggest reason, why Square is not what they used to be, do you think it's money? Do you think it's money?
Money is what led to them having to merge with Enix in the first place. They started putting out those games, and they started wasting money on weird side projects, and it got them killed.
I ask because if what Chris is saying is true, if we're following the positivity here, and Square Enix releases the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it doesn't just do great, it fucking blows records and just has all the world pointing fingers back at Square going, fucking Final Fantasy VII, yeah! If it generates enough revenue, maybe that could be a spark for them to get back to, and I say them, mainly Square, but them as a company, to get back to that. Yeah, let's flex our fingers here, crack our knuckles a little bit, snap our neck around. Let's try some stuff like we used to back in the day. Let's try to make an impact, Let's try to be something as opposed to that company that died. I hope so. I do. Yeah. That's a twofold hope for 7 being good,
I mean, a lot of these games have been style over substance, but...
Exactly, I was just about to say that. I think if they can get away from trying to make the games look as pretty as they can, they'll be on a better path.
Yeah.
The big hurdle. I was gonna say the big hurdle for them is going to be not giving in and then immediately remaking 8, 9, 10, 11. That I think is gonna be the pull. It's gonna be like, oh man, Final Fantasy VIII remake. They reveal this at like E3 and it's like boo, and people are just like, well, I thought this is what you wanted. You liked the 7 remake, didn't you? No, we don't want you to remake every fucking game. That's not what we were asking for.
What I wonder, and this is more of the pulse of the gaming community as a whole worldwide, I hope that the gaming community as a whole doesn't want just pretty graphics. I hope the gaming community as a whole wants Square to, not only for the 7 remake, but just in any game, to just get back to making good shit. And if that's what gamers really want and Square delivers, we're on point. We're solid. I can tell you from my perspective, having just replayed Final Fantasy VII this year, it was the PC version, and I was just fine. I could out loud say, yeah, it's dated. Yes, the graphics are not, what today's are, all that, but I was fine with it. I don't need the most beautiful, luscious grass graphics around. I need Square to come back and be the titans that they used to be. That's what I need. Yeah. And I don't need the graphics to do that. I need the gameplay and the wow and the stories and the shock factor,
Yeah, I was thinking about like Dragon Quest. That's another one of their long-running series. It looks good, but it's not the same, realistic style. It's a totally different art style, but it still looks good. And that's, I think, allowing the game, because I was just looking to see what kind of reception it got overall, because I still haven't played much of it. But it was well received, got good ratings, and they didn't have to do that, Final Fantasy 15 photorealistic attempt at graphics. They just had a solid gameplay, solid core game, and that's all you need. It's an RPG.
Yep. I just hope they don't get caught up in that. I hope they don't. They've proven. I mean, they have a whole entire movie to show that they can too. If you just for graphics you want to count Spirits Within. I mean, they've proven that if they want to sit down and make good graphics, they can do it. We believe you. We know you can. What we don't believe in you, I speak for myself. What I don't believe in you, Square, is that you can do the shit you used to do, which is have me reading something going, oh, there's a new Square game coming out. What's this fucking thing about? It's got fucking mechs in it. Or, oh, look at this. They're doing a real-time strategy game. What is that? Wow. I don't get that today. When I see a Square game coming out or being announced, it's, okay. I hope they don't fuck it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Please, God, don't let them fuck this shit up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real... They're no longer one of those developers that you go, oh, really? It's a Square game? That's not one of those things.
Yeah, you just don't have that same like hype machine building for the new Final Fantasy coming out. It used to be like a fucking event. GameStop employees dying, and being stampeded to death. Nah, it's just not that way anymore.
Speaking of GameStop, it's a good segue, Adam. Just want to send a PA out there to GameStop and any other retail company, not even gaming specific. If I go to your store, if I go to your establishment, and you have something on the wall and it's there, and I go to the counter and say, hey, I want that. And you say, I'm sorry, I don't have that in stock. And I say, well, the box is right there on the wall. And your response to me is, we are required by the company policy to keep it up there. Fucking what? No. What? To tease me? To fucking jerk me off? What is the point of having something up there and I go to you and say, I want that. And you go, yeah, we don't have that. So that's just a small little gripe that I have.
Yeah.
Any actuallys from last week, gentlemen? I can't think of any. I think the ones that we had, we corrected on the spot, if we even had any.
I don't think so.
So I think we're solid on that end. Any news? Any news that popped up this week before we roll into weeks?
I feel like there was something, but I didn't write it down, so I don't remember now.
I feel like we say this every week, and I feel so bad about that. Because again, there is a very, very, very big news thing that happened this week. So, man, and I forget what day this happened. This happened early in the morning when it became solidified. So I was randomly checking our Twitter feed, which I really honestly, folks, I never do because nobody ever actually really tweets us, but I just happened to pull it up. I pulled up like our email and Twitter and all at the same time. And I saw some, because I have so many people, not just people, but like websites and stuff connected on our Twitter. And I saw some things here and there about Two Best Friends or No More. And the Super Best Friends are posting their last episode up or something like that. And at first, I honestly thought it was a joke. I literally chuckled out loud going, what the fuck are they doing now? Because, oh man, they might do some trolling shit like that. And then I click on my YouTube. I open my favorites, go to my YouTube page, and at the very top, Two Best Friends final episode or final, something like that. I was like, the hell is this? And I click it. And it is a video of Wooly and Matt and Pat just talking into the camera. And the Super Best Friends are done. They're over.
Yeah.
Wooly was talking first, and he was, I'm going to do a lot of loose paraphrasing here, but basically, for those people that don't know, Super Best Friends is a YouTube channel, fairly popular, at least in my eyes. They were my quintessential YouTube channel. They were the best to me. They've been around, God, I think 9-something years, they said. Mm-hmm. And, they got all kind of content out there. They got so many games they play. They do Halloween specials. They do E3 coverages. They're really heavy into the fighting scene. They got a lot of fighting game stuff. And true enough, to this day, they also have their own solo content too, which they discuss in the final video. But I have watched those guys damn near since they started. I think I subscribed to their channel like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after their first videos. And from their shows, man, to their podcasts, they were my absolute. If I sound down right now, every time I think about this, it is because this is like somebody having a TV channel destroyed. Like they're done. And so the video plays, and it's Wooly talking to the camera first, and he's like, hey, this is the last video you're going to see on the Super Best Friends channel, yada, yada, yada. He didn't give details, but he was like, yeah, basically Matt and Pat are no longer friends. Work kind of got in the way, this, that, and the other things, so this is it. And then Matt got on there, was like, we want to thank everybody, blah, blah, blah. And, I've still got my own solo channel. I still stream on Twitch. And then Pat got on, said the same thing. Thanks everybody for all the years and all this stuff. And I'll be doing my solo stuff too. All three of them have their own solo channels going on. I think at least Pat definitely streams on Twitch with his girlfriend, which I hear is super fucking popular. I think Wooly's starting to stream a little bit as well.
Yeah, Wooly had a stream earlier.
Yeah, they did say that the Super Best Friend, the podcast will continue. However, it will probably just be Pat and Wooly, and they've already rebranded it to Castle Super Friends or Castle Super Beast, something like that.
Yeah,
they have not produced a new episode yet, but they may be waiting until after the holidays and whatnot. But man, I am not bullshitting you, gentlemen and guys and gals. I am not exaggerating. I was in a sour fun. I was this close to just going in the bedroom and waking my wife up just to talk to her. It fucking hit me hard. This probably about as much, more than when I heard like Aaron and John from Game Grumps broke the fuck up. So I mean, it's fortunate that, again, they all three have their own solo stuff. So, if they're not gone. They didn't just disband and disappear from the internet. They have their own thing. But as the audience should be able to tell, and as us three can tell, especially when we're on episodes together, there's no other dynamic than having more than one person in a room conversating, just carrying conversation and interacting and giving two of the same opinions or two diverse separate opinions or three people just the conversation, the dynamics that those three had together. I fucking loved. I loved it. And it sucks, man. It really does suck. I wish them all the best. I really do hope they continue their podcast. I think Wooly as well. He just started his own solo podcast as well. I don't know if he's having guests or whatnot. I don't know all the specific details of their individual stuff because I honestly never checked it out, even though they've been doing some solo stuff for quite some time. I thought it was very funny. Not funny like haha, but like peculiar when the second to last episode or the last episode of the podcast, Willie was like, yeah, so I'm starting my own podcast. And at that moment, I was like, man, why are they doing so much solo stuff? Like, do they have this much time? Like, damn, how do you make this YouTube channel with three individuals and play all these games and have so many subscribers, but you still have enough time to go do your own individual channels of streaming content and podcasts? But man, now I see. Now I guess they have all the time. All the time in the world. Sorry, I mean, yeah. I didn't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I hope I didn't. It's just, man, that's a solid. That's a big hit for me. That really was. I do have other YouTube channels, of course. I've got like 50 or 60 other people. I get videos daily, like everybody else in life. But I mean, that's like me that was like me being 13 years old and a Disney Channel just disappearing. Like, yep, no more Tailspin, no more Darkwing Duck, no more DuckTales. You just go find something else, and it really sucked. But yeah, Chris, I do feel like I say this every week, but the fact that I listen to 2 or 3 other video game podcasts and I hear things, and in the middle of me hearing these things, I go, oh, what? And oh man, I gotta put my 2 cents in on our podcast, and then I always forget it. It's a drawback of having podcasts usually come out like Monday or Tuesday, but we don't record till Thursday or Friday. I just forget. So if there was something really, really big, it'll either pop into my brain or it won't.
I heard EA's stock has gone down like $21 billion over the last like couple of months.
How do you feel about that?
Awesome. That's what they fucking get. Fuck them. So that's I don't know what, whether it's just like the economy doing its thing or if that's because of, all the controversy and all that crap that they've had. You've got different people on YouTube saying different things, but yeah, it's so satisfying to know that they're getting punched in the fucking mouth for this shit. Just all the crap that they've had, Ugh.
Now, I remember, I'm saying this in a nice way, I remember you kind of sort of going to bat for EA a few times, saying, like a lot of the games that had major issues, they all didn't boil down to EA. Yep. I'm saying this because I kind of want to know, without spending 2 hours on this, do we really honestly feel like EA as a video game company is... Are they that bad, or are we just jumping on the EA's bad hype train?
I don't think so.
I don't think EA is bad per se, because there are good and bad aspects of EA. EA can take a small little fledgling, barely fucking making it studio and give them enough money to shit out gold. AAA, they go from making just barely functional titles to quality AAA products. That's a great thing. They're good scouts of talent. Unfortunately, with that, they start to become more, because they like to meddle with that talent they produce. They're like, okay, well, how do we make this fit like the most large demographic of people possible, or make this, people like multiplayer, throw some multiplayer in there. This is an RPG. No, multiplayer. Everybody likes multiplayer. You'll get 20% more sales if you put multiplayer in this fucking game. Loot boxes, stuff like that, like microtransactions. They aren't the only ones. In fact, oh man, this is kind of another little piece of news that I was holding on to, but it turns out that there are some internal changes going on at Blizzard because apparently
I was just looking at that.
Apparently, over the last year, Activision, which is EA's evil twin brother that doesn't ever get noticed. Activision is bigger than EA, and they're fucking way more sinister. There's just nobody gives them shit when they do the same shit EA does. They've been putting their fucking, they took like one of their finance officers and made them CEO of Blizzard. And her first thing was, we're going to try to cut costs. And so, you have all these ancillary workers that work with the developer that are, they're basically being paid to leave. So just so that they can get pushed out the door faster and kind of lower the overhead costs of this stuff. And
they've had a buyout program. Basically, take a severance and you can leave and you give up other stuff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they've expanded it.
Yeah, they've expanded it out to different little positions throughout the company. But I thought that was like it. If you have like your game time moment, your big head honcho, your leader comes up and they said, all right, in this, our yearly, like, here's our game plan for the year. I'm not going to talk about our next big game release. I'm going to talk about how we're going to cut costs. What does that mean? I mean, is this a hotter fire than fucking the new WoW expansion? What should you be talking about at this meeting? It should be like, okay, well, we need to make sure that we're hitting all our fucking notes and we're making the best fucking game possible and da-da-da-da-da to get the best fucking product. But when they bring in an outsider and that's their first statement, is like, we need to cut stuff. We need to do more with less. Those kind of words are just like, ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And apparently it has some tie overall with why Heroes of the Storm no longer is going to have a esports program.
Yep. That was another thing.
And they reduced the staff.
So, you see, Activision does the same shit. But going back to what you were talking about, Mike, as far as EA, with stuff like take Mass Effect Andromeda. Okay, that game exploded on the launch pad. Just utterly fucking, it didn't even get as high as like the Challenger. It was just like kaboom, There were a lot of things that were wrong with that, but I don't think you can blame any of it on EA. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, there were internal issues going on at BioWare. And if you can point and say, well, this is what was fucked up, then you should be scrutinizing the people who fucked up, not just EA in general, just to bash EA. I get that EA's evil or whatever, but they definitely didn't have jack shit to do with that. As far as I've been told and have read, they didn't.
So what we have here is the company that develops a game handing that game to a company that pushes the game out there, and then the company that pushes it out there says, I don't care as long as it's making money. That's what I'm hearing.
No, that's not. They say it will make more money if you do this, so do this. And that's why EA becomes an asshole. When you see stuff like Battlefront and the loot boxes and all this other crap. And
right. The homogenization and all that shit.
I mean, you look at the behind the scenes stuff and with all the controversy on the Battlefield game, they immediately fired the dude that fucking insulted the fans. His ass was gone.
Yeah.
They were like, yep, nope, you resign now or be fired. That didn't take a week. He was gone. And this is like the lead developer of DICE. So if they're willing to do stuff like that, that shows that they care. And they know that this, bad PR is hurting their bottom line. But it's just, how many mistakes can you make before people start calling you evil? Well, EA's been called evil for at least the last decade.
Yeah.
That's just because they buy up companies and then they stick their little fingers into them and start adding features that nobody wanted.
Yeah. That's how I feel when I look at EA. They are profit first. That's how I feel about it. And having worked with companies before that are profit first and having, relationships with that mentality, I see people hovering over game designers going, not that way. And they're like, well, this is my idea, my creativity. That's not going to generate the dollars though, Bill. That's not going to do that. You need to put this in and this in. Well, this bastardizes the whole entire battle mechanic, but it generates us money, Bill. So this is what we want. And it's that shit I don't like.
And if you look at like Mass Effect 3 and like the co-op aspect of it, that kind of stuff is probably indicative of EA's influence. When you start seeing stuff like that, like, why does this game have a multiplayer? It's an RPG, you know? So that kind of stuff is where I draw the line at what I think their influence is.
We'll have a more in-depth EA discussion someday on an episode. But yeah, I don't have the most horrible, disgusting, bad things to say about EA, but I definitely don't look at them as like a saving grace. That's my bottom line with them. Let's get into weeks. Let's see. It was Adam, me, and Chris last week, so I guess me, Chris. Yeah, that sounds good. So my week was going actually pretty good, guys. It was trucking along, and I hit two roadblocks. Uh-oh. One pretty small, one big fucker a couple days ago. Oh, let's start with the small one though. Actually, let me do what I normally do. Non-gaming. Went and saw a movie. Didn't we see a movie recently? Oh yeah, we went and saw Harry Potter and
Harry Potter and
It's not Harry. No, it's not. It's not Harry Potter. It's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. But it was the Crimes of Grindelwald.
You
just can't get like a whole fucking.
Absolutely
it's like that was like 37 straight half titles. Man, it was like the trials of the age of.
Wow. This is not my fault, and I feel so bad because no, it's not. It's got fucking 26 words in the fucking movie title.
It's totally your fault.
No, I should
be
look
a good
it
producer
up right
and take
now.
your notes.
That's right. Wrecked.
Well, apparently, some people don't want us to take notes anymore.
If you can't fucking form a sentence without them, then yeah, you're good. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. If it's that bad.
It's not my fault the fucking movie's got 13 words, all right? Jesus. Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. There
you go.
Did it.
Good job.
I mentioned this the week before. I mentioned this in the episode before that my wife and I she'd seen it a few times, but we watched the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie when we were at Disney. We're gonna marathon the entire Harry Potter series sometime, probably this year. But of those two, I really prefer the Fantastic Beasts. I like the characters in it. I especially like Newt. I'm just a big fan of that guy. I like his heart and his mentality. And this movie was good. It was. I don't really have a preference over the two right now. That I enjoyed them equally. Had a good time in the theater. I saw a couple movies here at the house.
Real quick, before we change topics on the Harry Potter thing, those movies are actually coming to Netflix in January.
They're all coming to Netflix?
Yep. It says all 8 movies.
Cool. Neat. I'm pretty sure we already have all of them, so we'll get to watch it. But that is good to know. That's nice that you can go to Netflix and it's a one-stop shop. Awesome.
Yep.
So I watched a few movies here at the house. Mile 22. This is a movie. I think it came out this year. It's got our boy Marky Mark in it, and I was pretty excited to see this movie because it was that kind of like special forces fucking gung-ho guy. And without even looking this up, which I would, if one of you two could look up Mile 22 and see who the director is, I want to say this was the whole time during this movie I got really big Transformers vibes. Like I feel like that was the same fucking director,
Peter Berg.
Okay, well, God
Peter
damn it, I was
Dinklage
wrong.
directed this.
That's not what I said at all.
I'll admit, tell you right now, guys, I quit this movie about an hour in. I didn't even finish it. I just couldn't get over the corny, hokey, just jokes. It did not sit well with me. So, had a decent premise, but I think it tried to be more than what it actually is. Like it kept having these shots of like Marky Mark trying to give these like prophetic like maybe quotes and shit, and it felt just a bit too forced. So I don't even know how it ended. I've heard somebody told me it had like a really twisty kind of ending, but I don't know. Mission Impossible Fallout was another movie I watched. I enjoyed it. I cannot stress this enough. I have yet to find a Mission Impossible movie that I don't like, except for the second one. It's like the Devil May Cry saga, almost. It really is. I didn't care for the second one. I thought that was a super low in this series, but that fucking series bounced back with number 3. That is my absolute favorite, and all the ones after I've loved. This one was just as good. It had a really good antagonist, pretty decent story, a lot of action scenes, and made me laugh. It's just a good movie. I enjoyed it. Let me see. I know I watched another one. Clove Hitch Killer. This is a murder suspense kind of thing. Spoiler free. Barely want to talk about this at all because I just don't want to spoil it. But a young teenage boy starts to suspect that his father is a serial killer, and that's the most that I want to go into it. Foreigner. I know I saw one more. I think that's it for now. Yep, that's all I've seen for now. So the first hiccup happened a few days ago, and I felt so cap in hand when I did it, but I had to. I went to Adam and said, "Man, Adam, look. Bottom line, man, I dropped Xenogears. I've stopped playing that game. A lot of things led up to it.
You fucking disappoint.
I know, man. I mean, sorry, not sorry though. I mean, I can't. I don't like forcing myself through a game. I never feel like I should ever have to do that. And I know you've talked so highly about this game, and that is never going to discredit this game on your side. Like, my dislike for this game is not going to take away your adoration for it at all. But there's just a series of things that led up to it. It wasn't a hard quit because of one stupid thing. It was, I'd say about 5 or 6 hours back, I started kind of losing track of what was going on. I was just given more information than I felt like I could handle. I did at least 3 separate story missions that I have no fucking idea why I was doing it. They were throwing more names at me and more convoluted twists and all this stuff, and I understand because I can hear the walls of lava approaching me now. I understand, guys and gals, that this is a game that if you just don't get it, which fuck you, people don't get this game, you do have to play this multiple times. You may have to read a plot summary. You may have to watch a movie guide through it. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of work to understand fully this story. I do also understand that once you do have your mind wrapped around the story of Xenogears, it is a good story. Not a well-told story, but a damn good story. I get that. I hear all of this. But this is essentially my first playthrough. I played it back in high school, so this is close to 2 decades ago, and I have forgotten I don't even know how the fuck I got through this game in high school. I don't know. The only thing I can think, Adam, is that I went through this game step by step, and once my mind kind of lost the track of what I was doing and why I was doing it, I just went, okay, talk to people, find out where to go there. Talk to the next people, find out where to go there. Talk to the next person, boss fight. What do I do next? Go there. What do I do next? I think I just systematically beat this game. I don't think that I beat this game like, oh, I know where the next plot point's going, and oh, I wonder what the next question is. And no, I think I just video gamed this game and beat it because I'm a 36-year-old man, and I'm kind of smart-ish, but I lost it. I could. The thing that broke the straw that broke the camel's back for me, Chris, if you remember me talking about Final Fantasy VIII, how like I was kind of sort of liking it, kind of sort of getting into it. But after about the 4th or 5th time, they threw some random fucking thing in there that I had no idea what it was, and I just didn't understand. I was like, fuck this game. Like, that's what Xenogears did to me again. They name dropped like 3 or 4 things in the same story cutscene, and I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck y'all are talking about or what you're talking about. And I was just done. No. I had enough. I was just done. I don't want to force myself through a game.
You have to be able to speak in complete sentences to actually be able to understand it. So
yeah, that's fine. I do see the positivities in this game, though. I do, just like I did with Final Fantasy VIII, I do see parts in it where it shines. I do like the stylistic choice of doing nothing but for the sprite graphics. I love that. I love that in so many levels because, and I've told Adam this several times, I actually cannot use the game counter to tell how many hours I played because it's totally inaccurate. I want to say I put close to 40 or 50 hours in this game, and I kept asking Adam, like, where do you think I am as far as, like, disc 1? And he's like, nah, man, you got a ways to go. So I think the stylistic choice of saying we're going to use an absolute fuck ton of sprites instead of having all these super glamorous high-res CG cutscenes, it added more gameplay per disc. I can see that. That's nice. The battle system, I do like the death blow system. I like the, keep using this and you'll get new things, and if you use these in battle, they'll have more effect. I like that. That was nice, but I just couldn't, man. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I don't.
And
it's hard for me to kind of understand how you can get lost, but at the same time, I've already figured it out. Okay, I know who they're saying when they pull something out of their ass like the Ethos or the Gazelle Ministry or Solaris. I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And so if they were just to pull this out for the very first time and you've never heard it before at all, they're speaking plainly like they would to each other. They're not speaking for the benefit of giving you exposition. They're not saying, Solaris, you mean that country that floats up in the sky that secretly controls everything?
Yeah.
They're not just trying to talk to each other in a way to make you comprehend it. They're going to talk about things in the way that they actually would. So yeah, I can understand why there's a lot of text. Xenogears is a lot of story to wrap your head around, and if you can't get into it, then you won't get into it.
I want to equate this for the people out there in the audience. And maybe this will help clarify some things for you two as well. Did you guys ever hear of a movie? This is a Disney movie called John Carter. Did this name ever ring a bell?
I think I've heard
of it.
Well, so this movie bombed. I do not have numbers in front of me. I should have just clicked the link I just had up and maybe I could pull some facts up. But the main thing that I have heard from, and when I say multiple, I mean almost every single person, be it in real life, podcast, YouTube video, whatever, that has ever talked about John Carter, they all universally say the same thing. The problem with John Carter was that they kept throwing names of things at you and you had no idea. And just like you said, Adam, they would talk to each other in this speech, in this way. They're speaking English. They're speaking just plain fine English, but they're talking about things as if everybody else around them knows what's going on. So you in the audience are hearing these sentences and going, what the fuck are they talking about? Maybe it'll be explained later. And half the things in the movie got explained, half of them didn't. So you just had to take this movie as being, wow, so mysterious and so like code worded, and it just didn't fucking work. That is a big problem with Xenogears. Now, I do understand that if I could just play this 60 to 80 hour RPG back to back to back 2 or 3 times, I would probably get it. It would all click. I just don't want to do that.
All the pieces are there. It does, and if you're hyper observant about it, you can get it. But as far as like not knowing why you're doing, I don't ever remember having a problem with why I was doing something. And I think that might be because of the lapses in time between you doing thing A and thing B. But when they say, hey, look, we need to go do this thing, it's for an express purpose. I feel like maybe your thumb was going a little bit too fast and skipped a box or two. But
it could have, because I mean, they do give you a lot of dialogue, and it's usually all very important. There's a lot of times where somebody says, hey, that's the ... and you skip past that, and what were they referencing?
Yep.
They were referencing something.
There is no going back either. So once you hit that X button, that fucking shit's gone. But whenever Citan and Faye have a conversation, and they're like, I think our next step should be to go and do this thing for this person, you know, so that we can further find out more about what we're trying to do with this. Yeah, if there's, you know, that's why you're doing it. If you don't know why you're going someplace, that's a red flag to me, because they do explain that much.
Well, don't. I guess this is kind of to Chris then, and then maybe the audience as a whole. Like, don't let my. I'm not gonna shit on this game. Okay, I shit on Final Fantasy VIII for other reasons. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII had a lot to going for it, and then even took its own game with a running start, but then fucking face planted for me. It might be a little bit of just whiny guy hatred for 8, but I don't hate Xenogears. It's not a horrible game. I just got fed up with it. I see enough positivity there that if people can work through it, and if they've never played it before, maybe they'll get it and get a better experience than I ever got out of it. But for me, I just put it down. I also think, and I think you may have brought this up before, Adam, and I think if you did bring it up before, I'm telling you, you're reading my mind. It could just be that I just missed my time with this game. You know, this could be one of those games that I just can't seem to go back and just have the magic of, 96 or 97 or 98, whatever year it came out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those games that is best enjoyed in binges, because you read it like a book and you play it like a book, and there's a lot going on and there's a lot to keep track of, and, even going through it back as an adult, I have to constantly remind myself what it is I'm doing and all this, and I beat the shit out of it back in 1998 when it came out. So sorry you didn't have fun with it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly with what you said in before about as well. Like, if this game deserves a remake for many reasons. I mean, it's got a lot going for it. It has a lot of potential. If they could just, Adam, they could re-engineer the story design, period.
They just do it Persona 5 style and have everything voice acted.
They could unmemento this story and fucking tell it in a somewhat linear fashion, and maybe it'd work. Keep your illusions there, but keep them sort of in your face, not so fucking.
It would benefit greatly from concepts that came afterwards, like concepts like a codex.
Yes.
If you could open up the menu and find a codex and be like, what the fuck is the Gazelle Ministry? Yeah. And, the codex updated as you found more and more stuff out. And that kind of thing would be extremely useful.
I feel if this game got a remake / up-res with a just different way, a different storytelling methodology, I think it'd be so fucking good. I really do. So that's the end of that. See. Fuck it. I guess I'll tell the other hump then before I get to my games. So wife hollers at me from the bathroom in a slightly panicked voice a couple nights ago. Baby, the bathroom, the bathtub is not draining water. Oh boy, this is what like I was talking about earlier, guys. Where it's like, oh man, what hell am I having to? What's my night's about to be shot? Who knows? Yeah. Maybe I'll get lucky and you can just go put a plunger or some kind of fucking drain unclogging mechanism, and then I'll be on my way. So I went in there, grabbed a clean plunger, started fucking plunging the bathtub. Nothing. Not moving. Got a puddle of water in there. No big deal. Next door is a toilet. And I was like, all right, let me take the other plunger we have. Let's try to plunge these together, see if maybe there's just some kind of big blockage. Who knows? Nothing. And I'm talking heavy fucking forceful plunging. Nothing's happening. I say, well, shit. Well, let me go check the front bathrooms and see how that is. As I pass by the shower, there's a giant puddle of water in the bottom of the shower, not draining. It's like, we didn't even take a shower. Where the fuck did this water come from? What the fuck's going on? Mind you, it's about 8:30 at night. About 10 o'clock at night, and it is raining outside. Not pouring, but definitely cold and definitely raining. I go to the front bathroom, and my toilet is fucking spewing water all over the floor.
Why?
So, what the holy fuck? I told Adam this story. This is my wife got to see me go from let's just fucking get to holy fuck, we need to make shit happen right now. Because when I saw water all over the bathroom and all over the floor, it was get shit done mode. Oh, yeah. I needed towels, fucking old shirts, fucking let me start making phone calls, let me find wrenches, let me just start, I need to start fixing shit. And I could not fix shit because I didn't know what the fuck where it was coming from. I turned the main water off that was coming to the house. That didn't do anything. This water was coming from the septic, basically the sewage. So, jumped online, found a number for Roto-Rooter. Thank God they were open 24/7. I gave them a call, said, yeah, I got kind of emergency here. I've got water pouring into my bathroom. Potentially could start leaking into my living room, thereby, a.k.a. my fucking house. Yeah. So, if you can send somebody out here, that'd be great. They were like, cool, we got a nice lady who's on call. She's gonna head out your way pretty soon. So she called and she was like, all right, first things first, do you guys have, what was it called, a drain? A clean out drain. And I know what that is. I've installed them in houses before. And I was like, yeah, you know what, we have to have one, but I have no idea in my yard where it is. So my wife and I, again, out in the cold and the rain, are circling around our house, waiting on her to get there, trying to find this pipe cover. Pretty much everybody has one for their house. You'll know you've seen it before. It looks like a PVC pipe, about 5-6 inches in diameter. It has a cap on it, and on the cap is a big square block. You use that to unscrew it, and you can basically get in your drainage system and, unclog it and whatnot. So we're going all around this house, and we just couldn't find it. And I'm like, man, I used to mow this yard myself since we moved in. I've never seen it. I know we have one, but I have no idea. I'm out trying to find where it could be. We just couldn't find it. She's like, that's okay. If push comes to shove, we can it sucks, but we're going to have to pull one of your toilets up, and then I can run a snake through it, and then we can run a camera through it to see where this thing is. So we didn't find it. She shows up about an hour later. Thankfully, by this point, we had stopped the water as best we could. But there was still an excess of water in the bathroom, and there was still water in all the things I mentioned earlier, and still bad. So her and I spent a good 20-30 minutes outside. We were checking neighbors' yards, like where they have theirs. Some neighbors had theirs in their driveway. Some of them had them by the utility area. Some people had them just in random spots in their yard. And we tried all these things in my yard. No luck. We found one in our neighbor's yard that we thought maybe theirs and ours were tied together. Nope, no luck. So we came in the house and we had to pull one of the toilets up. That led to more water getting in the bathroom. Fortunately, we had my wife and I at this point had made like a towel / old nasty, well not nasty, but old used shirts. Like I had a bunch of old shirts in my garage that I used for like oil rags and whatnot, right. And we had basically made like a dam so the water couldn't get to the living room. And also, luckily, we didn't have a shit ton of water in these areas, and all the water that was coming up was from those areas. So once all that water came up, it was pretty much done. So she rips the toilet up. First thing she does is put one of the snakes through, and this one's got a 75-foot length on it, okay? And at this point, I'm now taking a tape measure and measuring about where that toilet outlet is from like a wall to my house, and then going outside and starting to measure down pretty much in a straight way to the driveway, basically trying to measure out where this fucking pipe, this drain cap is. And she's feeding it through, and I'm going back and forth, outside, back in, measure, taking shovels, digging in the ground, trying to find what I can. No luck. And then, bam, she hits the end of it. Mind you, we don't have we live on like a quarter acre. Like, we don't have a huge yard. So she hit 75 feet, and I'm like, well, that's almost to the road. So, I mean, do we just not have one? So we had to reel that back in. She got a 150 foot one and did that one. Then we finally found it. And then it didn't get worse. It's just the bad news came around. Apparently, and no, I don't know the extent because we didn't have the camera down there long enough. Basically, she ran the snake through. The snake finally cleared out what was bad. But when we ran the camera through, we discovered that, oh man, Chris, because you know my luck's just the fucking greatest luck in the world. There are roots growing through my sewage lines. I do not have a fucking tree in my yard. I don't have any bushes or shrubs or nothing. But by God, there's fucking roots going through my shit. I guess really, really strong grass roots. Who fucking knows? So there are multiple things that are going to have to happen soon. I just don't know when because it's going to cost money.
Oh, yeah.
I have multiple avenues of how I can handle it. She did offer that I could have the city come out and look at it, but she said, man, it's probably not going to do any good. They're probably going to research it and tell you what I'm already telling you, which is there are roots here, and if they have to fix anything, they're just going to fork it to you, and the bill's going to be on you anyway. So I can go out there myself because I've worked with PVC pipe before. I've worked with laying sewage lines and shit. I could dig all the roots up, cut the damn line myself, replace the pipe myself. I can have a company do it, which will cost $1,000 or $2,000. It'll cost a lot because they got to dig everything up and then have the city come out and make sure it's all coated and all kind of other shit. An avenue that I'm thinking about right now, I say think, but I've actually kind of started it. I'm just going to get some fucking damn near tree killing chemicals and throw it in that fucking sewage drain and just let the roots die away. Maybe that'll get rid of it. But it's not going to get any better. Right. I mean, there are live roots that are, and again, I don't know the extent. It could be one or two and the camera just got stuck on them, or it could be a network of them that have just annihilated my sewage lines. I don't know. What I do know is that she brought her shit in. She snaked it, my sewage line since that night, which I think we finally got done about 2-3 in the morning. But our sewage lines work now. We can take baths and showers and fucking flush the toilet and all that's fine. But that's the fucking kind of luck that I have. And I say that full well knowing that we're all adults. We all have houses and apartments and trailers and whatever. We all have shit like this happens, man. Shit happens. But when somebody tells you, when they look out in their yard and say, yeah, buddy, you got some big ass roots growing through your line, and you like, I don't have anything that has roots. So what the fuck? It's just my luck.
Yeah, that sucks.
Sounds about like it.
Yeah, so that'll be handled sometime eventually. I'll have a what to do later on down the life when I decide to get off my ass and handle. I'm either gonna just I'm just gonna kill the roots off myself, or if I have to, I'm gonna get the thing fixed. I don't have the willpower to do it right now, and I definitely don't have a couple $1,000s to throw at somebody to have them do it. So we'll see. As far as gaming goes, past Xenogears, I'm not so much in a turmoil. I'm just kind of in like a free form fucking around with games. The first game that I jumped on for no apparent reason was Turok for the PC version, the Steam version. I have played Turok 1 and beat it again. This is another one of those, 2 decades ago things. I played a little bit of Turok 2, but not anywhere enough to tell anybody anything about it. I just felt like going through it. I don't even know why. I just saw it on my Steam list and I was like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I've been meaning to play into that. And I don't know, like 2 or 3 levels into it. It's fun. It's an old first-person shooter with modern first-person shooter controls. So, I'm killing it. There was a point that I started playing Dragon Quest XI. I have put that aside because, number one, I put another 100, 200 plus something hours into Persona 5, and I just came off dumping another 50 or 60 plus into Xenogears. Kind of want to hold off on RPGs for a minute and just go play the field. So for those that don't know, as of this episode, this late December episode, a couple weeks ago or less, Katamari Damacy Rerolled was released. It came out for the Nintendo Switch. I want to say it came out for the other two as well. What I did not know that it came out for was Steam. this is the first time a Katamari Damacy game has been released on Steam. So, even though it's not even my favorite Katamari, and it is not on, it may be on sale right now because there is a Steam sale right now that ends January 3rd. I immediately went over to the Steam store and purchased that thing for the full $30 because fuck yes, I will support Katamari. I will absolutely 100 motherfucking % support Katamari Damacy in any way, shape, or form, because if that revenue can go to that company to make them go, we need to make another Katamari, please do. So it is basically a up-res version of the very original Katamari. You're not going to get all the bells and whistles that like beautiful Katamari is going to give you, but it doesn't matter. It is still Katamari. It's still you, the prince, rolling around everything up into a big ball with some really good, really catchy music and some up-res graphics from the PlayStation 2 era. I am 5-6 levels in, and this goes for any Katamari. This is just, I can pick up any Katamari game and just get this closed-eyed, wide fucking ear-to-ear smile of joy. I love these games. I've been such a big fan of this franchise since the first time that I finally went, all right, fine, I'll play one and see what it's like. It is good. It's always been good, even when some of the games a lot of the games have a lot of things rehashed. I mean, they reuse a lot of levels. They reuse a lot of assets. Doesn't matter. They do them so well, and I have so much fun with every single one of them. So, yep, plunk down $30, have it on my Steam, hoping that they do more like this. I do want to offer one very tiny criticism. I was honestly nervous about bringing it up because I don't want to cause a fucking shit stir. And I don't even know how to say it, gentlemen, without it sounding racist, I guess.
Oh, wow.
They did change the prince's look. Because this is a up-res game, he looks a little bit more rounded. He has a little bit more curve to him and everything. But I noticed immediately in the original Katamari Damacy, he has these black pellet eyes, and they are slanted upwards. In this game, they slanted them down. They look like regular leveled eyes. I don't know why that decision was made. I feel like that is a stylistic choice that they made on purpose. Like, yeah, let's not like have his eyes in this Japanese game so slanted upward. Let's put them down to a normal level. I don't know if they thought that was racist and they decided to not be, so they designed it that way. I may be reading way into it, but when I saw Prince on the screen, immediately looking around, I was like, why does he look different? He looks different. He looks, something's off-putting, and that's I just figured it out. His eyes don't look the same. So I feel like they decided to not have racist slanted eyes when I never thought that way about the prince. I didn't care. That's part of his look. I didn't go, oh man, why are his eyes so tilted? Anyway, don't want to make a huge deal about that because again, I may be the only one, and it is what it is. It's whatever, but that has absolutely nothing to do with the gameplay. It is still Katamari that you know. I recommend that you two go out and buy to support this fucking franchise, and I encourage every single person that hears this episode to tell every person they know that has Steam to buy this game. The more eyes people get on this, the more that hopefully, Namco will look at it and go, hot shit, we either one, need to do this for the other ones, or two, hopefully, let's go make another Katamari. Let's bring Katamari back in the light it deserves. The last game, I'm sorry, I've closed my Steam out for fear of it conflicting with Audacity, who knows. But there was I'm just going through, just in general, guys, as closing my week, I'm going through my Steam list, and I haven't really found anything that I'm hardcore working on. It's more like, the flitting, jumping from game to game to game kind of thing. The last game that I've been playing a little bit, I'm almost to the first boss of this game. It's kind of a side-scrolling 2D. how do I describe this? It's a side-scrolling 2D platformy. The main character is like a wizard, has a wand. Alwa's Awakening is what it's called.
Huh.
And I'll just leave it at that. It's nothing. You get items throughout the game that you can use. Like the first item you get is like a wand that. It's a gem for your wand that lets you put blocks anywhere you want them. Think of Link's Awakening when you got the wand of Saskatchewan. I forget what it was called. That lets you create blocks on the field. This is 2D side scrolling, not top down, so you can use that block and you can push it around and it'll let you access areas. Sort of Metroidvania-ish. Very old school, very, very tied into the 8-bit graphics and music, so that's just one of the games I've been playing on. I've had some ideas of games I want to go try out. I just haven't really settled on anything. I did buy most of the Danganronpa games. That was a strong recommendation from the Super Best Friends back in the day. And I may try them out. I just don't know when. So I haven't really settled on one particular thing. I'm kind of in that working on a few games at one time deal. And yeah. That's pretty much been my week. Eventful, uneventful, games down, games up, and now just general gaming. Chris, what about you, man? What's your week been like?
All right. Ready for another long week?
Oh, boy.
No!
All right. 2 hours. Here we go.
Go.
Nah. I totally could. But I'll keep it shorter. Well, we'll see. So let me actually pull up the spreadsheet because I put them in a particular order. So we're going to start out bringing back the Destiny 2 segment. Started my week.
Woo!
Monday, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I was like, you know what? There's the Christmas event going on, the holiday event going on. There's a DLC, the Black Armory DLC dropped, I don't even know how long ago now. I'm like, all right, I need to load it up and at least check the event out, if not the DLC. So I load it up and I'm like, all right, I know I'm behind, etc. But let's see what, pops up on my map and I'll go do some stuff. I am so behind on that game. It almost feels kind of overwhelming at this point.
I know that feeling.
So normally, and I know it kind of varies on DLC and whatnot, but normally when they raise the level cap by a significant amount, your minimum drops, there's a new minimum. So if I think the new max power level is like 630, 640, something like that, ridiculous. I am at, I want to say 520. So I'm technically, I think, over 100 levels behind. So I'm like, all right, I'll start getting drops. The blues will drop at like 560, 580, something like that, to get me a huge jump. Nope. Still dropping below my level.
Wow.
Like, well, shit. So that means I'd have a lot of grinding to do to catch up at this point. So I kind of got a little discouraged. I played for 4 hours, whatever day it was I played, and I enjoyed it. I love playing Destiny. It's such a great game. It's just one of those things. It's a time sink, especially now with the new way they're doing the power levels like this, where you don't get these jumps, even with the DLC coming out. It makes it a lot more time consuming. I do need to check and do some research. I'll say this now. I do need to research what drops at what levels now. Since I've made all these changes, what avenues I actually have for raising my level. It could be not bad, but I just don't know. And just based on those 4 hours, I went up like 2-3 levels, but that was just normal weekly stuff. This wasn't anything new I was doing. This was what I did before the update and what I'm doing after the update. Same thing. Same results, if you will, as far as level ups. So I kind of feel too far behind now. I might have to wait for year 3 or whenever they bump up the level again and raise that minimum level to play some more. Let's see. Next on my list, Magic Arena, MTG Arena. So I mentioned last week briefly that they changed the rank system. So the new rank system is so fucking good. It's nice to see them making progress on this already fantastic game like they are, to where they changed something that was so screwed up and now it actually makes sense. And this goes in line with their whole Magic esports thing. that they're starting next year. I think I talked about it last week. They're putting so much money into it. I got up to gold 4, which is the lowest gold rank, this week, and it took me like 2 days to go from bronze 2 to gold 4, because it actually matched me with people that were, my relative skill level, and I managed to win more than I lost, so I went up.
So this is good, yeah?
Yeah, you no longer drop from like silver to bronze. You will drop like silver 4 to silver 3, but you will never drop below that, main tier. So now
and
gold,
refresh my memory.
Yeah.
This is, and more things like this. These are things that the community complained about, and they went, "Yeah, let's fix this," right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
I don't even know
Good.
that.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because with that they changed all the game modes. I talked about that again last week some, but there's so much upset right now because the ranked ladder is best of 1 instead of best of 3, and that's just upsetting people. Which they've said, yeah, we're working on best of 3. They wanted data from best of 1 first before they rolled out the best of 3. They just released a whole new ranking system, a whole new ladder system, new matchmaking system. Give them a break, give them a little bit of time to get some data, patch up any issues they find with this, and then they can roll out the best of 3 where the hardcore, Magic players can go and, spend hours in games with each other. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so much, this new rank system, and they still have the free play mode, so you can go in unranked if you want, which is really nice. I'll do that when I just need wins or something. I'll go in with my red burn deck, which I used for another event that it was a couple months ago, or a month ago, I think. It's not a viable deck at all, but if I get lucky on draws, I'll get a win, and that'll give me my daily stuff. So that's all I use it for. Moving on. So I had previously played most of the first Spyro game and the Spyro Reignited trilogy. Since I was kind of in my funk of not knowing what game to play, I was like, all right, well, I should go finish that up, right? Because I was on the last world or last level of the second to last world, which is essentially almost done with the game. So I went and I took the hour and a half, which is all it took me, finished the game, got 120%, I think it is. So I'm now officially done with the first Spyro game in the trilogy. I did not start the other ones yet because I just didn't feel like it. It's such a fun game. I don't really have much to say about it. I just played it and beat it. It's interesting, I will say, to have boss fights that aren't just, go face to face with the boss and just, go back and forth hitting each other type thing. They're actually essentially puzzles and other mechanics to it. You don't just enter an arena and charge at the boss. Let's see. Next. All right. Persona. So I put some more time in Persona. I'll pull up exactly how much as I'm talking.
Persona 5?
No, Persona.
Oh, okay.
On the PS Classic, Persona.
Okay. This isn't general Persona talk.
He's
this
been
is Persona
moving that
1.
triangle around
Persona
the map.
1. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
So I have put 9.5 more hours into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about right. I will say, well, I don't think the game is bad in any way. Or I won't say in any way. It's not a bad game overall, is what I actually meant to say. Because it does have bad things about it. But it is not a game that I find myself enjoying after 4 hours straight. At about the 4-hour mark, I'm like, yeah, I should go do something else. There's only so much of it I can take at once. And it sounds bad to say that, but it's just that it feels very repetitive at times in certain dungeons and stuff. Or
So
in the
here's a
dungeon.
question.
Yeah.
If you turn the sound off all the way on Persona, replace it with Persona 5's battle music and town music and stuff like that, would it make it better?
I don't have any issues with the sounds.
If you're just I'm just going to completely re-overhaul all this.
It'd be catchy music to listen to while playing, but no. I mean, it wouldn't change the game experience.
Damn.
It's kind of the issue I'm running into is I feel that it's very well. First off, they're like the Velvet Room. I had no idea there was even one in the dungeon I was in last, and apparently I've missed other Velvet Rooms. So I went like, I don't know, 15 hours of gameplay without ever entering a Velvet Room. So I feel like I was a little at a disadvantage because once I entered the Velvet Room, started creating personas and actually changing them out on, my party members, it's an entirely different game at that point. So it's one of those things where I thought I just hadn't got to that point yet. But I got so lost in this one dungeon that I was like, all right, I need to stop, look up a guide to tell me where the hell I'm supposed to be going. Because I swear I've explored this entire thing. My God.
Sounds like me and Xenogears.
The lack of information on the internet about this game is mind-blowing.
Really?
I'm like, okay. I go to GameFAQs, look up FAQs. There's only like 2. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's an old game. That's not unusual. It's not a super popular game, like later in the franchise. That's fine. There's still 2. So I pull up one. I go to that part. I'm like, oh, great. This person did not format their guide. So it's like 8,000 words in one block of text. I'm like, all right, well, let me do a Control F, find for the area I'm in, and find from there. I'm like, okay. And all it says is, you need to go to the 5th floor. And that's where the thing is. I'm like, well, it's not so simple,
You got to understand that thing was probably written down by like some 13-year-old back in the beginning of the internet.
I don't know. They're so old. They are very old.
That kid's like 30 now. He had just like scraped together enough money to buy a Windows 95 computer.
So
and a modem.
So I'm like, okay, that's frustrating. But I'm like, maybe I missed something. So I went up to where the thing said to go, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't the same room the FAQ is telling me. I'm like, all right, let me pull up the other one. And it's like, okay, the place you need to go is on the 3rd floor, and then it's a straightforward path. I'm like, okay. I go to the 3rd floor, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I've explored this entire floor. It is not a straightforward path. There's like 16 different branching paths. Which one am I supposed to take? And I'm like, all right, I'll take this a step further. I'm actually going to Google maps for this game. So, there are none. Everything that comes up is for the like PSP remake or whatever remake they did, which I don't know if it matches because I didn't look because I was trying to find specific for Persona 1 PlayStation version. So I'm actually thinking about going back and making maps just to post on the internet so they exist. Because my God, this is terrible, and we need maps for this game.
And you are doing
service.
You are doing a solid stand-up job on selling me on going back and playing Persona 1 and 2. I'm telling you, because man, woo! I don't know.
I mean, I'm still playing it, so I'm still enjoying it overall. But there's just these moments, and that's kind of a minor thing. It was really my fault all along because there was one path I had missed the little entrance for, and that was where I needed to go the whole time. Because it's one of those things where like, yeah, this guy's office is on the 5th floor, but because of the whole Persona world changing, thing, you don't have straight hallways and elevators and paths. So you have an elevator to the 5th floor, but it basically leads you to a dead end. And you're like, of course it does, because that would be too simple. This wouldn't be a dungeon then. So you have to go around, go through the 3rd floor, take the elevator, or take stairs, and then take the elevator, and then go up some more stairs, and then you're finally where you need to be. And the story progresses.
But the door's locked.
No.
You're like, son of a bitch, there's a key.
I literally spent, I want to say, an hour and a half in this one dungeon just trying to find out where to go. That's how long it took me to find that one path I missed. And the only reason I found it was because I went, okay, there's no maps. And this is where I got my thought, I'm going to make some maps. I started exploring the entire map so that when I went to the map menu, it showed everything revealed. So that I could then take like a screenshot and, post it and stuff as a dungeon.
Wow.
I found...
Yeah, you are not gaming and you're like writing shit down in notebooks and taking pictures. That's when your teeth come out.
Yeah, so this, and I'm now officially further than I ever got before on the original PlayStation because I own the game. I've mentioned that before.
Good.
I think I surpassed that at like the 6-hour mark or something like that. But the story is interesting. And one thing I forgot about this game is the people in your party that you have actually depend on choices you make at points in time. So when I was reading that guide, I had looked and I had accidentally got to the part where it started talking about the boss fight, and I was like, I don't want to read this, but in it I saw a character name, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is. Or I was like, I didn't know they were a playable character, for your party. I thought they were just an NPC that you encounter, another student, if you will. But no, if you choose not to take someone, then someone else joins you, and I was like, right, I do remember that. So something to keep in mind if you do go back and play is your choices when you take people do matter on who you get to play when. But yeah, overall, aside from getting stuck like that, I'm enjoying the game now that I've got more personas. I'm dominating enemies I couldn't dominate before, and that were just wiping the floor with me. I constantly felt underleveled, and it wasn't that I was underleveled. I may have been like one level, but it's because I didn't have personas. And that just, like I said, makes a world difference in this game.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, right?
It's not like they named the game after.
Yeah. All right. Next game is Spider-Man. So yesterday, the last DLC in the last episode of the DLC dropped. Again, another short one. I think this is probably my favorite one out of the three. Unfortunately, it also seems to be the shortest one, but I'm not sure if, it's hard to say for sure because in the other ones, I did, DLC story, DLC side stuff kind of at the same time. I alternated essentially in between missions doing side stuff. This one, I did a very little side stuff I did these side quests, but I didn't do these side objectives to Screwball or whatever her name is stuff. That's literally her name, her villain name, if you will.
Oh God!
But I also encountered a minor bug, which I'll talk about in a second. Overall bugs, but I encountered a bug where the little crimes that happen around the map, they weren't spawning, and I didn't realize it until I beat the game or beat the DLC. I was like, I was like, okay, what's my percentage? I'm like 70-something percent. How? I have nothing on my map, and I hover over a district, and it's like, 0 out of 5 crimes in this district. I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen a crime almost since starting the DLC. I did like one at the beginning that it, forces you to do as part of some story thing, but I don't remember seeing any other spawn. And I sling around the city for a couple minutes, and I'm like, you know what? They're not spawning. So I do a quick Google search, and I see results from like when the game first came out of this happening to people, and they're just like, just restart the game and it'll start spawning. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I did that, went to the menu, force closed, etc. Went back in. Yep, crime started spawning, so they would actually finish getting 100% of the DLC. So doing everything took me 4 hours, but the story part of the DLC only took me an hour and a half, which is pretty on par. The other DLCs, I think, took 3 hours, 3.5, and then 4 hours for overall 100%ing them. So with side stuff, it was a little bit longer, but not by much. It wraps up enough for DLC. They still have hooks, and they present more hooks to kind of hint at either more DLC or, Spider-Man 2. There's a lot of good stuff that I would like to see after that, and hopefully a longer game. But on top of that, after finishing it, I was like, all right, now that the DLC's all out and I am 100% through the game, I think I'm going to start the New Game Plus, because there's a trophy for it.
Oh, okay.
And there's also a trophy for beating the game on the hardest difficulty. I said, all right, I don't know if I want to do this, because I don't know how hard it's going to be, but I'll go ahead and start it. So I started it up, started getting enough fights. I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. And I kept playing, and really, there's only a couple fights in the entire game that are really challenging on the hardest difficulty. Most of it is just like playing through on normal. You take more damage from enemies, but after playing through the entire game, 100%ing everything, they're kind of pushovers. You know, I'm used to the combat. I know what I'm doing. It's not like it's a first playthrough where I'm learning mechanics and stuff. Though I will say, as embarrassing as this is to admit, I completely played through the first playthrough, missing part of the web slinging traversal mechanics.
Oh, really?
When you're in the middle of a swing, if you press X, you do a little boost jump off of it. I forgot about that. They tell you that at the very beginning, in like the first 3 minutes of web slinging, you know, to do that. That completely changed traversal. I hadn't been doing that in my other, 40 hours in this game, or however long it took me to fully 100%. I think it'd be about 30 hours, DLC included.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that's kind of nice. Made it completely different. Yeah. Made some of the missions easier where you're doing chases and stuff. Because I had that little bit of speed I wasn't getting. And then that was last night, and then this morning I was like, all right, I'm going to play it, and I think I can finish it today. On the hardest difficulty, New Game Plus, it took me 7.5 hours to beat total.
Wow.
That was skipping every cutscene I could, and obviously New Game Plus having all this stuff and doing no side stuff.
So you just slammed it.
I did.
Just like, fuck this entire game.
I was like, I'm just going to get through it. I played through it, and so something interesting about that, like I said, skipping every cutscene. They do not let you skip the reveal cutscene at the end of the prison break. The one that was from the E3 trailer. That one is unskippable. So they want you to see that moment.
That's weird.
And I did watch the ending again. I didn't skip that because I was done with the game at that point. I knew I had time to watch it.
Yeah.
Man, that ending is so good. I let it play out, and it was still just as emotional as it was the first time playing through.
Yeah.
I wish that game was longer. Could use so much more of it. Let's see. Anything else about Spider-Man? I don't think so. They added a few more costumes. I really like one of them. It's the second one you unlock in the DLC. Otherwise, they're just more costumes. The one, I think they revealed it online. It's actually from the latest movie, the Spider-Verse movie. They have a costume from there, which is nice. But I haven't seen it. And it's one of the more cartoony looking ones. While it's amusing, I don't like the cartoony ones in that game. It doesn't match the art style. So it's like, I don't really, So, the reason I could keep going on with my week for a lot longer is because I bought a couple of new little toys. One being the NES Classic.
Oh, okay.
And the other being the SNES Classic.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking.
Oh, my God. So I just looked at the box for the SNES Classic because it arrived yesterday while I was playing Spider-Man. And I haven't even finished hooking it up yet, so I haven't played it. But just reading the box, I was like, man, this is an intimidating box. There's these games.
Yes.
Man. I'm like, I'm going to lose months once I start playing this seriously. I did hook up the NES Classic. I didn't touch any of the RPG games yet. I did play a lot of the other ones, and I'll go into more detail another time on the specific games once I've, kind of got through more of the games on the Classic itself.
Yeah, but just to ramble off these games, because admittedly I am a third generation gamer. I stake my claim in gaming with the NES, even though I had an Atari 2600. The SNES has always been, to this day, is still my favorite console. I will probably get an NES Classic at some point in my life, but honestly, I'm not hard up to get it. But this fucking SNES Classic, Chris? Super Mario World, Mario Kart. Okay, Mario World right off the bat. There's a several 90-something plus levels in that game. Already lots to do. Mm-hmm. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Holy fuck, stop the presses. My first Super Nintendo game I ever owned. stellar, arguably greatest Zelda game of all time, right there in your face. F-Zero, okay, all right, some more racing stuff. Super Metroid, stop the fucking presses, again, arguably one of the best Metroids in existence. Bam, right there, must play. Street Fighter 2, you like fighting games? There you go. Punch Out, mid stop. Punch Out's really good, pretty good. Castlevania 4, okay, yeah, damn right, good Castlevania game. That's the old Castlevania play style, so hell yeah. Donkey Kong Country, stop, great platformer, awesome game, shows the prowess of what they could do back on the SNES graphics. Mega Man X, what the fuck? Super Nintendo, please stop. What are you doing? One of the greatest Mega Man games ever made, holy shit. We're halfway done. Kirby Superstar. Lots of Kirby games in one roundup. Holy hell. Final fucking Fantasy 3. Man, top tier, arguably the greatest RPG of all time on this console. Kirby's Dream Course. Why not throw some fucking a wacky Kirby game in there? Second Kirby game on here. Star Fox, the original, the OG. Find out where this game got its flying roots from and why people still want this game in it. This kind of gameplay from Star Fox. Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Arguably one of the best platformers ever fucking made on this console and ready for you to play. Super Mario RPG. Holy shit. Did you get enough RPG with Final Fantasy 3? You didn't? Well, here's another great one.
Yep.
Contra 3, great Contra addition to the whole franchise. Secret of Mana. Here is another RPG with a twist on it. This is action RPG. Earthbound. Moving on. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. This thing is fucking... This is insanity. And yes, I know, much like the NES Classic and the PS Classic and any other whatever classic there is out there, there are other games. I know Adam would love to see Chrono Trigger on here. There are lots of picks, but this is solid.
Oh yeah.
This is 20 games where like 10 to 15 of them are must play. Like they're awesome. So yeah, of all the picks, man, there's no PlayStation Classic shit of it's a different version and it's different this and different that. I would like to have this in my house and try the games out because I want to know if they're using emulators or not. I need to know, and I can point a couple games that I can tell. Most of these games I can listen to and go, that's not the original. I need to know that. If they are, that's just even better. Even better.
Yeah, and I went online. I don't know if we talked about it on the last episode or if I heard it on another cast, but there was talk about they're going to discontinue them, the NES and NES and SNES, both console classics. And then they're not going to make them anymore. I didn't get them when they originally came out because they were sold out everywhere, and I wasn't going to buy it off eBay for hundreds of dollars. But the NES Classic is like $50, $60, and the SNES Classic is $80. So I was like, I'm going to grab them both.
Worth it.
It's the only thing I will say about the NES Classic, and I need to double check, make sure I didn't lose it or misplace it, I should say. But it only comes with one controller. But the SNES Classic comes with two.
Nice.
So I was like, And the PS Classic comes with two. It's like, again. It's kind of interesting. Not that really there are many games on the NES Classic you care to play with two players anyway, but it's just a little interesting thing. But all right. I wasn't going to talk about anything else NES Classic related, except for one thing that I found out when I was plugging it in. So, we talked about the PS Classic and it not coming with an adapter. So I open up the NES Classic, like, hey, here's the adapter that the PS Classic, doesn't come with. And I plug it in, I look at the cable, I'm like, okay, yeah, plug it in. I'm like, wait a second. I look at the back of the PS Classic, I'm like, these are the same cables. They both use the same version of USB. I look at the voltage on the NES Classic adapter part. I'm like, okay, 5 volts. That's what the PS Classic requires as well. I'm like, let me try something. So I unplug all my PS Classic cables, plug in the NES Classic, turn it on. It works. So okay. So I turn it off. I unplug the cables. I plug the same cables in the back of the PS Classic, turn it on, power's right up.
What?
I'm like, okay, here's what I think. I think they made the PS Classic and Sony decided everybody's going to have NES Classics or SNES Classics. They can use that adapter, so we don't have to include one.
Huh.
If that is the reason, that is fucking brilliant. It's a shitty move, but that is brilliant.
Yeah, but who wants to go back and keep swapping power cores around whenever you're... I know that sounds really first world laziness, but...
Well, so here's my thing. I only have one outlet, so I'd be doing that anyway. One outlet free, and it has to share with the Christmas tree. So it's either, a classic console or the Christmas tree plugged in right now. Christmas tree is currently winning. But come, Wednesday, that won't be an issue. I'll have my one dedicated classic port on the power strip. My first world problems continue with power allocation here. So all I do, I have them actually stack the NES Classic with the PS Classic on top of it. So if I want to switch, I just boop, 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 boop. And funny enough, the ports on the PS Classic are the opposite direction of NES Classic. So you have to flip the cord. That's the only difference. Same cords, everything. It's great.
Well, that's good, man. It's good to hear. And like I said, I don't know when I'm going to get it, but I definitely, of all these classic console remakes and shit, the SNES is way up there on my list. And that's even with me having pretty much all those games physically and the ability to emulate them if I want to. I just, it's nice as hell. And I think of the NES has great games, there's no doubt, but that's a lot of good shit on the SNES, man.
Maybe Santa will bring you one.
Maybe.
Like the Jolly Ranchers.
Oh God, I forgot about that. A little quick weak intervention there. So I get a package at my door, open it up, and it's I didn't look at the shipper on the front of the label, but when I ripped it open, apparently the packing label or the shipping letter that came with it, the invoice, was up at the top portion of the package. So when I ripped it, I just threw the whole freaking top part away with the invoice in it. And there's a 5-pound bag of Jolly Ranchers there. Now, I put those on my Amazon wish list because I had purchased those before. I still have about 4.5 pounds of Jolly Ranchers from the package that I bought. And I asked... first thing I did was send a text to my wife, and I said, "Hey, you didn't by chance buy me some Jolly Ranchers, and then but you left it under my name?" She's like, "Nope." And I was like, "The fuck did these Jolly Ranchers come from?" I guess the company had a fuck up and sent me another bag. I checked my orders. I didn't order another one by accident. I didn't have it on a recurring thing. So cool, free Jolly Ranchers for me. And about 8 o'clock at night, whatever, Chris sends me a text and goes, "Hey, man, did you get a package from today?" And I was like, "You son of a bitch." He was like, "Yeah, man, Merry Christmas." I was like, I was trying to figure out for so long today who sent me those Jolly Ranchers.
And all he had to do was read the thing that comes inside of it. That has a note. So
then I went to, I didn't put it. Yeah, it had a note on it. Om nom nom from Chris. And, so I hadn't thrown it in the trash yet. I had just set the damn thing inside the bag. So I pulled out of the bag and the invoice fell out of it. And I was like, oh, look at there.
Persona ruined him. He likes to have voice acting now. If he has to read shit, man, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. Speaking of Persona, but you don't have to start with that. Adam, tell us about your week.
Oh, man. Persona, not a whole lot of gain this week on Persona. Believe it or not, it's not Persona's fault. I am around I want to say the 4th, maybe 5th palace.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting into the late September time frame, and I'm grinding it out.
Yeah,
I'm at the point now where I need to get new Personas. But, the Personas I have are good, and I don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't fucking want to lose this Persona. Just fuck yourself, new Persona.
Just take them to the Velvet Room and throw them in a compendium. You can buy them later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we had that, and mostly this week has been in an anime week. I only really got about 5 hours total. That's about maybe 2.5 hours one day, 2.5 hours the next on Persona.
Yeah.
But been mostly an anime week.
Okay.
Really. Oh man, we're just now getting to all the episode 12s on, my typical Crunchyroll simulcast viewing things. And I took a couple ideas down, as far as like which ones I thought were like the best. And Tokyo Ghoul has had a fucking phenomenal third season.
Okay.
I don't know if either of y'all have watched that at all.
Nope.
Not yet. It's in my to list to do though.
Okay, if it's in your list to do, you need to put a giant fucking asterisk there. And don't watch season 2.
Okay.
You can watch season 2, but you don't need to watch season 2 before you watch season 3.
Okay.
The issue is that they decided to do that thing that animes sometimes do and just say fuck the source material.
Mm-hmm.
And they made season 2 based completely and utterly off like a side issue. So this anime adaptation is all fucked up. It's a great anime based on a great manga, but they fucked the execution of this all up. You got season 1 follows the manga. Season 2 goes off on a side story, like a we wish this happened kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it'll wrap up right there. If you finish watching season 2, you just put the whole damn thing down, walk away. But if you go to watch season 3, it's like, nope, back to this point, start over. And you're like, what? But didn't he do this all? No, none of that shit happened. This is what happened. And it's a great story. It's fun to watch, but just go into it knowing that season 2 is universally panned.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so, but you finally got to see something that really you don't get to see a whole lot of in anime is you get to see like an actual relationship progress past the like high school fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now he's got he's married to this chick and he's got a kid with her and da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
And how that changes his perspective on how he's attacking these problems and stuff like that. Really cool. Really cool. I love that. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't read into it. It's one of the animes that I haven't followed the manga on, but I will eventually. Yeah. And just go off on a little side tangent here. One of my philosophies is if I haven't heard of a manga and the anime is coming out, I will watch all the anime before I read the manga.
Okay.
And the reason for that is I don't want to ruin the anime by double checking it against the manga every fucking time it does something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know that like it's the same thing for like if I know a movie is based off a book or a TV show is based off a book, I'm waiting for all of Game of Thrones to get finished before I start reading it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't read it before, I started watching the show first. Not gonna read the source material until after the show wraps up.
I did it the other way.
That's just, yeah. And once you get, because then you start nitpicking shit. You start seeing the seams, like that wasn't supposed to happen. This guy was supposed to go left instead of right, and he was gonna meet a donkey, and the donkey could talk, and blah 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 blah. And now you're hung up on that instead of what's happening.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So. With anime, I really, really try not to do that. If it's something I've already read the manga on because I just fucking randomly picked it out of a hat and it got an anime, then yeah, I do that the entire time. And I can appreciate the differences, but I've only had one anime ever really pissed me the fuck off with the adaptation, and that was a little known anime called Fuka. Have you ever heard of that? Either of y'all?
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I ever saw it. I recognize the title though.
It's Fuuka, Fuka.
Yeah.
And that's the name of 2 of the characters in the show. One of them actually doesn't appear in the anime, but it was just spoilers, I guess, unless you don't want to hear it. But there is a plot moment that happens early on in the manga, probably 10 chapters. I actually want to say probably 20 chapters in. And of like 150. Essentially, this guy meets this girl and he, kind of likes her and she wants to start a band, so he starts helping her. He learns how to play bass to help her and she can sing really good. And they, things happen and their band is taken off. You know what I mean? Early on in the manga, this person dies, and like they have to the story changes from like the typical like, oh yeah, we're gonna fulfill our dreams and we're gonna do all this stuff and be all these wonderful people, to, oh my god, we lost like our best friend, what the fuck are we gonna do with the rest of our lives? And like the band breaks up and the other guy's like, I want to still do her dream and blah 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 blah, and it goes through this entire like soul searching arc. And then he meets another girl and she has the same name and he has all these problems. 1,000 years later they reform the band and they actually do pretty well. In the anime, she just doesn't die, and they go on. They go on to end it right there. No, they're cool. They're awesome. They become awesome. Yay. And I was like, what? Well, fuck. There's a lot of character development you threw out the window right there, buddy.
Yeah.
I was incensed. I was like, oh man, this got my goat. It's got it. It's walking away with my goat right now, and I can't stop it.
Did it activate your almonds?
Yeah, my almonds were fully 100% activated. And I was pacing around the house like, fucking bullshit, god damn, and no, that's one of them ones where it's like, turn it off, I gotta go smoke for the night and go to sleep because I'm too angry about this. But got sidetracked there. Another one that's wrapping up right now, we just got episode 11 was Goblin Slayer, and it's actually looping back around. They skipped this particular plot line from the manga to go to a different one, and I don't necessarily disagree with it. It was pretty cool. Now they've come back and done it again, and it feels kind of a little different, but it doesn't really feel different enough to where I think it like made a major impact. But they are about to hit. I understand why they did it, because this is a really emotional moment in the series, and they wanted to make sure that it was the season finale. It was like the last arc of the season.
Right.
So we're going to see some cool stuff coming out of Goblin Slayer here. Next episode next week is going to be awesome. Index 3 has been continuing. It's still going. It's one of those things where, I told you, like, this is a very involved plot, and you really have to stay on your toes and know who the fuck they're talking about through Index. It's almost like Xenogears. It's like, hey, do you know who Item is, or Member, or blah, 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 or what all these groups are fighting for, or why it matters who they are? Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't? Well, then you're lost. So, yeah, it's another one of those ones. It's really good if you know what you're doing, if you know what's going on, but if you can't keep track of it, then you're going to be kind of like, oh, why are we doing this? Bunny Girl Senpai is almost done. It just got done with this episode 11, so one more left to go on it. And this show has been strong the entire season, and I didn't expect, because I haven't read the manga on this one, but didn't expect the twist they threw in there, and it is like gut wrenching. I was like, oh god. So yeah, that the last little arc happens with his sister, and like some bad shit happens, and he's just, you feel for the main character as like it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, so he's just utterly conflicted.
Yeah.
And so are you. You're just like, oh man, my whole life is full of fuck right now. I need to go reevaluate my priorities. So, been some really good anime this particular season. So, and we're just now getting into the finales. Next week is going to be a lot of episode 12s, unless they decide to delay them a little bit. Another one that came out of fucking nowhere was they had one more episode of Steins Gate Zero. They just randomly showed up on fucking Crunchyroll. It had 23 episodes. Now it has 24, and this one was not the finale. It was like, I guess they like had like a episode they just didn't know where to fucking put, so they put it at the end.
All right.
And it mind you, this thing ended like a couple months ago. It's been done. So when it popped up on there, I was like, there's no fucking way there's another episode. And I look, and there's sure shit. It says, there's a 24th episode. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it goes right in the middle of the season somewhere, And I'm like, well, okay. I get to see more of these characters I like. So fuck it. I'll take one episode just random out of nowhere. Oh man. That's about it for anime news. The other thing I had was ended up getting a new phone, and I finally got fucking Hearthstone to start working again. Which I know I hadn't said anything because I mean it wasn't that big of a deal to me, but Hearthstone, for whatever reason on my old phone, decided to stop updating. Like the piece of shit, the new expansion had come out for Hearthstone, and I was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be cool. Expansion downloads. Hearthstone just hangs at the opening screen. Uninstall, reinstall, do it again, hangs at the opening screen. I don't know if my phone just didn't have the ass to push it or what, but yeah. So, got this new phone, it finally fucking updated. I got around to, because it just copied all my apps over.
Yeah.
And I decided to open it up just on a whim and go ahead and reinstall it. Yeah, all my shit. And it counted every time I logged in, so I got my bonuses.
Nice.
Like the 5 packs you get for opening it during the whatever. I got all those and all that kind of stuff. Got my ass completely handed to me by people that have like 3 weeks of experience with this new expansion and know all the new mechanics and all the new meta decks and all that shit. So they were just like, welcome to Earth. And I was like, oh. So, yeah, just been watching my rank go down very quickly. Playing around with new mechanics and stuff like that. They got some pretty interesting stuff. In other gaming related news, fucking Dragon Quest is on sale on Steam for like 30-40% off. So I'm probably gonna pick that shit up.
Again, folks, the Steam sale is on. The winter Steam sale is on until January 3rd. Lots of games, like every Steam sale that ever comes around.
Yeah, I'm going to end up snagging that son of a bitch real quick. But at the same time, I'm sitting on this giant pile of fucking games. So I have absolutely like zero reason to buy another 40, 60 hour fucking game.
Yeah. I'm hearing tale that Dragon Quest XI is like the 80, 90 plus hour variety. So yeah.
Is it like the 80, 90th percentile of games?
So it's
I don't know.
In North America, is their best selling North America Dragon Quest game.
Really?
Yep. It trumped.
Okay,
I think it was
how are the reviews looking?
I think it's got like 85% plus or 8.5, whatever,
I know it's a Dragon Quest game, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But fuck it, I'm gonna buy it.
Yep.
It's done.
Do it.
It's done. It's going on the pile. I don't know when it's going to get played.
Yeah.
Sometime
Adam
fucking 2020.
Has another game in the backlog.
2020, I'm gonna be like, hey, you remember back in episode like fucking 200 episodes ago when I said I was gonna buy Dragon Quest? Guess what I played this week?
Yep.
Not Dragon Quest. I did way more games have come out. I've been playing Star Citizen this entire time.
Hopefully Metro.
It's in like pre-release beta now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one last thing for my week. I don't know if y'all follow this, but I have been a big fan of Team 4 Star since they came out. It's been one of those things where they came out with the DBZ abridged and all these other little series abridged series. They're fucking awesome. If you haven't seen them, check them out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy VII Abridged comes out on Fridays. So I checked it out. And I was like, oh man, this is fucking awesome. So I binge watched like the entire first season. And the second season came out and I watched all that. This last season, I knew it was coming. I fucking knew it was coming. I was like, oh, here we go. Next episode's gonna happen. It's gonna fucking happen. So they finally got to the end of disc 1. And I was like, how are they gonna fucking do this? And they just played it straight.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Huh. All the abridged shit, they're always taking the piss out of everything. Not this. They were just like, yep, suck it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it like Square did, and we're just gonna make it hurt a little more.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, what? No. And so it was like, all the other episodes are like, you leave on the episode laughing, and this one made you just feel like shit.
Dude, that's pretty cool when you think about it, because coming in, you're like, oh, I wonder what wacky, zany thing they're going to do. And they go, no, this is not as, we don't joke about this.
What you need to remember, the cool thing is that the last parting shot is it goes and it shows your end of disc 1 save game, and it shows Eris in the party, and you save right the fuck over it.
Oh, wow. Oh. Oh.
And it's like, he goes,
Thanks. Thanks, Adam,
It's
for
like,
sharing your
motherfuck,
week.
man.
Thanks for sharing your week with the audience. That was, oh, man, dude. Thanks.
If you haven't seen Final Fantasy VII Abridged, it'll hurt you.
I will bump that as well. Team 4-Star does good shit. I really like their DBZ Abridged. I think their Final Fantasy VII Abridged is garbage, though. Chris, you said you had another news thing that you said you wanted to discuss before we get to the topic?
Yeah. So when you were talking about Katamari, I was like,
yes! Go buy it!
I was like, okay, I'm going to go check because you mentioned it might be on sale. It is not on sale, but it's only $30, so go buy it anyway.
Yep.
But
and I think that's, Chris, I think that's across the board, too. I think every version you can get right now it's just $30.
Great. But when I went to do that, I noticed my Steam had a couple of games that needed to update. I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and get those going while I'm not playing anything. And I noticed 7 Days to Die was on there. I'm like, okay, I wonder what they've updated. And I went to the store page to look at later, but one of the headlines on the page caught me. It said, A17 now released. Now, for those that don't know, 7 Days to Die is still an alpha, but I have put so much time into that game. I don't know how much time, but it's a lot.
That's the one where you it's like zombie hordes attack at night.
Yeah. Every seventh night, it's a super horde and stuff. Yeah. I have 200 hours in the game.
Wow.
So, and I haven't been playing it lately because I've been waiting on A17, Alpha 17. This is probably the biggest patch I've ever seen in a video game. As far as content goes, they have reworked like nearly every system and added a ton of stuff. I cannot wait to play this.
Nice.
I don't know for sure, but this may be the one where, because didn't I give you a key for it, Michael?
I think you did. I'm trying to get my Steam back up. What is the official title again?
7 Days to Die.
7 Days to Die.
7 Days to Die. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. You may have, but I don't see. I don't have it. I don't see it on here.
You didn't use my code, man.
I may.
Damn.
I think I gave you a code for it, but yeah, this patch. This is what I'm gonna be doing probably all week, just so you know.
Cool.
And I hope this is the patch that I can start playing and go, okay, now anybody that's been holding out on playing it, now go play it.
Yeah.
Because the last update, they added a lot of stuff and it made it. It was improvements, but like their electricity system, which I don't know what changes they've made to it yet, but it had some issues. But you still had electricity in the game now, which added all these things, new base mechanics. I talked about it on previous episodes. So them reworking like every system, perks, stats, zombies, AI, vehicles completely redone. I can't wait.
Nice. I also had one small news-ish thing I want to discuss. I promise. Give me 2 minutes. We're going to go straight into the topic. Some upcoming games for people that are not in the loop, I guess. There's a new Mortal Kombat on the way, but we don't know an official date yet. I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying that. Doom Eternal does have a release. It doesn't have a release date yet. I have a slip that says it's supposed to come out in December of 2019, so oh boy. January of next year is going to be fucking crazy because Kingdom Hearts 3 and Resident Evil 2 Remake comes out on the same day. Holy hell, I have both of those games pre-ordered. I will probably have to flip a coin to decide which I'm going to play first. And, I really should, since I have the 2.5 or 2.8, I don't remember which, I should go ahead and go back through the first two. Devil May Cry 5 comes out a couple months later, March 8th. And I think as far as the new games, that's all I'm really concerned about. I know Adam is like foaming at the fucking mouth for Anthem. That comes out next year, so
yeah,
that'll be good for you.
Foaming at the mouth to walk exactly.
That'll be good
Just
for you.
walk right by it and be like, huh.
Fuck
and
you.
keep on walking.
Guys, I know we're several weeks late, and I absolutely do not give a fuck. Let's talk about the 2018 Game Awards. I know all three of us have stuff to talk about this. I'd like to really quick run a brief rundown of what all went on, and let's just snip the points that happened, and then we can just talk about it more at the end. So, right off the bat.
Right off the
Brat face. The crazy ass dude from last year was brought back in, and I may be saying his name correctly. Joseph Fares, I believe, the guy that was like "fuck the Oscars." Everybody remembers that guy. They brought him back, and he was on stage. A little less key this time. I'm pretty sure some people had severe talks with him. So a little bit toned down, still energetic, still a little bit wild, but not so many crazy wild F-bombs, and scripted enough to where Jeff Keighley didn't have to be like, all right, guy, I got to get on with the show, so you got to. So I thought that was a nice little nod. So they started this format that they're doing, and I do apologize. I meant to go look back at the first like 4 or 5 to see if they've been doing this from the get-go, but and I also don't know if the Oscars do this as well, but they would, in the middle of other announcements and trailers and whatnot, they would randomly just throw out awards without the whole ceremony and bravado of people being on stage and announcing it. It's like they would show a trailer and they would be like, all right, well, let's go over this game award, and it goes to these guys, and it's just that quick. So right off the bat,
that's actually really weird.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe
is this an award show or a giant fucking like fake convention?
Well, the thing is, I'm assuming because I know you want to get into this, Adam. We're going to get into it, I promise you.
Yeah.
The game, you cannot treat the Game Awards like the other award shows out there. As much as they want to be like them, they are not like them. I don't know if the Oscars, for example, or the Golden Globe, I don't know if they show movie trailers in them anywhere. If they don't, whatever. But Jeff Keighley and his crew have a way that they do the Game Awards, and that is doing little events like playing music and showing gameplay footage of like upcoming games or trailers. I'm a fan of that. I think that's fine. I'm not saying that this is the go-to venue for it, and I'm not saying that it's better than E3, that this is not a game presentation show, it's a game awards show. I get it, but it's pretty cool to watch something like this and get a trailer of something new coming out. That being said, with them adding these trailers and everything else into it, if every single award was done exactly the way it was supposed to be, number one, I think that'd be pretty fucking boring. But second, you're looking at 3.5 to 4 hours of a show. I don't know if I want that. This was already 2.5 hours as it is. Do you really want a systematic thing where they call somebody up there? All right, hey, I'm so and so from so and so Game Designs. Here's the nominees, and the winner is yay. Say your speech. All right, you get down the neck. All right, I'm so and so.
You say it like it's like that, but it's not. It's not necessarily going to be like that.
That's how it is in the Oscars, isn't it?
No. Haven't you watched the Oscars?
No, I don't. I honestly don't.
Okay.
I really don't.
But no, that's not how they do it at all. It's not like a big...
That's not how they do it at all. No way at all.
It's a big, dramatic thing when it needs to be. But it's not like best third guy that ever appeared in the movie, best extra, best blah, blah, blah. They don't do all that shit. Okay? The big meaningful awards are the ones that get... the time, but all the other ones still have stuff, say they're doing 4 movies. They show a clip from one, they show the best actor award. They show a clip of the first guy in his movie. Then they show a clip of the second guy in his movie.
This is how they do it in the Game Awards.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. For some of them.
For some of them, that's how it should be for whenever they do their awards.
I think you're misunderstanding the point that I was trying to make. I was saying that if they took every single award that they do in, say, the Golden Globes and systematically did them one after the other, after the commercial break, one after the other, that's boring. The Game Awards
they don't do
doesn't
that with
do
the
that.
Oscars either. The Oscars has like some dude come out. I mean, I remember one year they had like Robin Williams come out there and sing "Blame Canada." I mean, the shit. You know,
yeah,
it's not,
and the Game Awards had
like,
Mick Gordon come out and play a fucking Doom anthem. So yeah, the performances,
cool.
The performances are not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that the reason why they have these, like, okay, for right off the bat, the best action and best RPG got announced just like that. Didn't get presented; they just came out and shat them out.
And somebody needs to come out and slap them for that.
Yeah, I understand that. My argument is not against that. I'm saying that if they took out everything else. And they just made it where bring person on stage, announce nominees, announce award, leave the stage, bring next person on stage. The trailers to me,
you're making a false choice. It doesn't have to be one way or the other. There are other ways to do it that don't involve either of those. And what I'm saying is that's what we should. It shouldn't be the way it is, and it shouldn't be the way you're describing.
I like the trailers. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. The trailers, I think, the trailers are one thing that they're doing wrong. The other thing is skimming over Best RPG.
Yeah.
But when they have the trailers and you skimmed over Best RPG, now I'm looking at the trailers like, you got fucking in there, but you didn't fucking put Best RPG in there? Fuck you. Fuck your game.
I do not agree with RPG getting blown over like that. I can pick out get awards that I don't think should be stepped over, and other people around me can do it. I don't know what the reason. Man, they could have drew fucking straws and said, "Look, it's fucking fair game. Half of these are only going to get talked about. The other half are going to get presented." I don't know. I'm not Jeff Keighley. I'm not his crew. I don't care. If this is systematic across the board, like, we can go back and see how the other years handled it. If, say, best action game is always getting just announced by word and not presented, then we have a problem. But I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think everything should be presented, but they're choosing not to do it. That's not a hang-up for me. The hang-up that I definitely am against is no game announcements, no game trailers. This is the Game Awards. They can do however they want to do, and they have chosen to do it this way. This is, again, they're not saying that, hey, no more E3, folks. No more expos. When you want the latest and greatest trailers, you've got to come to the Game Awards. That's not what they did at all. What they did was, how do we make this our thing and make it different? Well, fuck, what's more exciting than being at a swanky event and then going, oh yeah, by the way, Final Fantasy 16 trailer coming at you. What? I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just a bunch of people that maybe I do or don't know opening an envelope and presenting an award. Now I get this awesome game trailer. Cool. The whole show isn't game trailers. They're just spliced in there now.
I mean, it's half game trailers and half commercials.
And
in between them, they say some names sometimes.
It's a fourth trailers and a fourth announcements and a fourth the presentation and a fourth actual on stage events. I mean, there's a mixture of things.
I don't know. I look at that. I look at it and I go, man, this just reeks of everything I hate about mainstream gaming. Well, just like, it's like somebody paid them for this spot, and now money is involved in it, and it doesn't feel like. Who is it that does the Oscars? It's like some association does it. I can't remember. God, why can't I think of it? Like the Academy Awards come from the actual Academy, the Actors Academy. Stuff like that, when they come from some separate organization picking its own stuff, that makes more sense. When it's like the Game Awards brought to you by Capcom, and Capcom fucking sweeps the goddamn awards. Well, shit.
Well, I don't.
That's the conflict of interest that kind of immediately pops up.
Think that works that way either, because even Easy Allies spoke up on this. They said we are also on the panel, but Easy Allies only gets one vote. So we in Easy Allies had to come together and make our votes, and those got tallied up, and we sent a vote to the Game Awards. So they take a poll of votes from the community. It's not Jeff Keighley and Du Bois voting. It's them putting out a poll and going, what do you people think? And it's from the community at large, be it developers, informants, whatnot, they also have fans voting, and they will even tell you this is what won. Sometimes they'll tell you this is who won by the votes, and this is what the gamers think. So I completely know and understand that grimy, messy, sticky black hand voting shit you're talking about, where it's just let's throw money under the table and get them to win because whatever. I don't see evidence of that here.
There are more
yet.
ways to manipulate a vote than doing that. Say, what game? They gave you 4 options for a game award. What's the 6th game or the 5th game that didn't get put on here? You know.
Yeah,
Sorry, this is boring, Chris.
No, it's not. It's not boring. It's just I was wanting to get into this at the end of all this recap, but we can totally hash it out
we're
now.
doing it. We're doing it right up front.
Again, I've said this before about the Game Awards, and I'll say it again. I didn't even know your mentality on the Game Awards. It doesn't really affect my opinion anyway because I have my own, but. I watched the entire Game Awards on my little fucking smartphone in St. Croix, and I had a fucking blast the whole time. And half of that time I was also thinking, man, this is fucking awesome. This is cool that a further step in the gaming community to where somebody can go out there and go, well, when it comes to music, we have this award. And when it comes to TV shows, we have this award. And when it comes to the movies, we have this award. Fuck y'all. When it comes to the games, we have this thing. It's formal. It's fancy. It's up there. We have people. It is formal. They had fucking Phil Spencer, Sean Layden, and Reggie Fils-Aimé on stage in suits at the same fucking time. If they're all in a
bathroom, then that doesn't make it formal. I mean, you know, that it's the attire.
They had people in the professional industry getting on stage presenting awards. I don't know what was not that.
But when I'm saying, like, it's not a black, you know, what do you call it? A black tie affair,
right? It's another stylistic choice by them. There's
when you look at like you look at okay, the best movies and the Grammys and stuff like that. People roll up there and they look in a certain. It's like the most polished they can possibly be.
I think that's
if you were to take a picture,
I don't think that makes it not formal at all. It is still a.
I'm saying
at the same time, to me, when I look at it and I go, here's a picture from the Grammys, here's a picture from the Oscars, and then here's the gamers being gamers and being the immature people that they are.
Let me
wearing wacky costumes and stuff like that on stage.
Oh Lord, we'll get to that, but let me curb your Game Awards hatred for just a second. I think you're misunderstanding what I mean by formal. What I'm saying is, okay. Think of, say, GDQ. I guess this is kind of more towards Chris because I think he's seen more GDQ than you have. I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, a lot more.
GDQ first started, Chris. Remember back in the day, it was like 20, 30 scraggly, nerdy kids like in a basement setting almost.
It did literally
and now
start in a basement.
today, now today, depending on who is actually playing the game, there's 2, 4, 6 to 200 or 300 people in a venue being broadcast around the world. That's what I mean by the Game Awards being formal. I'm not saying they're fucking eating caviar and drinking $2,000 glasses of wine in a black tie. I'm saying that there is a worldwide streamed event where somebody, Jeff Keighley, gets on stage and says, hey world, hey, this shit is serious. You got a big award that you give people for the movies. We've got a big award that we're going to give people for the Game Awards, and you're going to pay attention. And guess what? The world pays attention now.
And I am not allowed to criticize it, apparently.
No, you can criticize it.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't.
These are my gripes with it.
How can
I'm
the
saying
guy?
That it's not formal enough, and it's not, and it's got a lot of things in it that make it. It just kind of hurts its legitimacy to me.
Formal
and I
enough
look at it and I go, what?
I don't care that it's formal enough. I'm not even. This is semantics that don't even need to be argued. They can get up on stage in their fucking underwear. I don't care. That's not the thing. It's that it's being presented in a way that makes the world care, and it's trying to. There is no other Game Awards thing that's doing this right now. And if there was, and they decided to go, okay, we're going to have a formal dress code. It will be 3-piece. Your suit better be $3,000 or more. Like, what? Nobody cares about that. The gamers don't care about that. And the further you're going to go that way, the less the audience that matters, doesn't care.
You're making two different points here, and it's weirding me out because I don't understand what you're trying to do with it.
I don't understand what you're trying to do by bashing the Game Awards as a gamer. I don't get it.
Okay. So you want them to be more, hey, we're here, we're gamers. Yeah, cool. Notice us. We've grown up, but we haven't grown up at all. Look at all our wacky costumes.
Okay, all right, let's pause right here. What wacky costumes are you talking about? One fucking guy that won an award got up there.
There's one guy that got up there, and
as I said, we'll address in a minute when we get to his part of the show. But everybody else is either biz cas, formal, or just wearing. I saw what the God of War characters guys were wearing. I thought his fucking suit was pretty nice. We see shit like that at the music awards all the time. There is no wacky costumes, and even if they were, depending on how close it was to the game, if Shigeru Miyamoto gets on stage and has a 3-piece suit, but his shirt underneath is a fucking Zelda as the Triforce, okay, so we can't take him seriously, the fucking creator of that shit, because he has a Triforce T-shirt. Come on, man, come on. This thing doesn't.
All I'm saying is you've got one set standard and the other set standard. You got to pick one. You either want to show that this is a big to do and we can be taken seriously now, or you're like, okay, well we're still radical. We're still in the 90s and our hats are backwards and we're being this way.
You can be taken seriously and still have fun with it. They are not mutually exclusive.
I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying that when you make the comment that this is the only game in town, and then it's all wacky, zany fun, and it kind of, a lot of it doesn't look very polished. A lot of it doesn't. There's a lot of interviews like that one last year where the guy just runs away and they didn't have a plan for it. It was all done live. That's just a problem with the formatting, doing it over a podcast. They can't cut stuff like that, and it's not, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. There's something about it just throws me off in comparison to other award shows. It's not to say that other award shows don't have problems of their own. It's just saying that this is what I see wrong with this, and for whatever reason that incenses people, It's like, you can't talk shit about it. Well, I mean, I'm sorry that these kind of things just kind of put me off to it, but they do. I still watch it.
I mean, I thought it was great.
I still appreciate what it's trying to do. I'm not trying to put it down for trying to do something. I'm just saying, okay, well, you tried, and in my eyes, you could have done better. Here's where it is. Does that make sense?
I suppose. I don't know what else you want from it.
Yeah,
I've tried to.
I know what you were trying to do, but what I'm saying is, I don't know what more things you want to add to this. Like, I don't know what direction you want to take this, because this is for us. And I watched it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. But it seems like I'm not supposed to, I guess, compared to other award shows.
See, that's how you're choosing to take what I'm saying, but that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a good time with it. I'm not saying that I didn't have a good time with it. I'm saying I have an issue with some of the things they do, and this is why.
Well, let's continue down the list then, and we'll see what other things you had a problem with, or what things we enjoyed, or whatever. So, the action game got announced right off the bat. Dead Cells. Okay, I can stand that. I can handle that. I'd say that kind of means something when an indie style game, kind of comes up from wherever it comes up from. What I didn't do was go back and get all the nominees and just blow
I have
them
it on
down.
a spreadsheet, so
I guess we could do that, but in my eyes, did Dead Cells beat out God of War? Was God of War even a nominee?
The nominees were Black Ops 4, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Far Cry 5, Mega Man 11, and Dead Cells, so won it.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm cool with that. I'm all right with that. But Best RPG was announced next, and that was Monster Hunter World. Now, this was very curious. Mm-hmm. Monster Hunter World feels more like an action game.
Yes.
I guess.
I do not consider it an RPG. I understand it has RPG elements, but I do not consider it an RPG. It is very much a action quasi-open world. It's not really open world, but it's got some elements of open world to it, if you will. But yeah, totally action.
Yeah. So I feel like we could go through this whole list, and I don't really want to do a breakdown of every single one, at least like nominees to what won. Mm-hmm. But I will say that just from the jump, you tell me that the best RPG was Monster Hunter World. On one hand, I'm happy Monster Hunter World won something. On the other hand, I don't think it should have got best RPG. So,
what do you think should have won?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't have the nominees in front of me, and we'd be here all night if we were going down every single list and scrutinizing what should have won. Chris, what RPGs were nominated?
It was Dragon Quest XI, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, and Pillars of Eternity 2, along with Monster Hunter World. I fully expected either Ni no Kuni 2 or Dragon Quest XI to win. I guess Ni no Kuni 2 hasn't had the reception that the first one did, because the first one blew up. I didn't enjoy it when I played it, but I fully expected Dragon Quest XI to be the winner.
It was Monster Hunter World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, like, I was looking at that on Steam because of the Steam sale and all that, but
it's good.
Apparently the gameplay is really good, but the story got a 3 out of 10 on one review I read. It was still overwhelmingly positive as far as the reviews go, but is that really an RPG, or is it like a...
No. Yeah, that's another detriment to the RPG niche of this, that like to me the story of Monster Hunter is so negligible. I mean, it's like having it's like having a story.
It's like the scenery, you know.
Yeah,
it's just there to facilitate the gameplay.
It's like having a story of Mario World. Like, if somebody really wants to come in and question why these people are going out and killing monsters, here's why. If people really want to know why Mario does what he does, here's why. But you don't go to this. There's so many things that are opposing to this. You know, you don't go to Monster Hunter World for the story. You go to it for the monster hunting and the action.
Right.
And you go to an RPG for the story. Primarily, so odd choice, odd decision.
I would have went with the Dragon Quest, or I would have went with Pillars of Eternity. But
I guess I honestly half expected Octopath to take that one, but you know, whatever. I mean, Monster Hunter.
Octopath, I've heard nothing but good things about Octopath Traveler's story.
Yeah,
and the game, etc. But
so then we had the first, to me anyway, the first shocker of the night. The first like stand up, clap. What the fuck is going on? All three main presidents on the stage, all at the same time. You got Sean Layden, you got Phil Spencer, and you got Reggie Fils-Aimé. And they're just giving hey, gaming unites people, unites us, yada yada yada. Have a good time at the Game Awards, enjoy the show. And I really enjoyed that. That was I half expected this to be like, I was kind of crossing fingers for some kind of merger announcement of some sort, like, hey, we're going to have this new IP coming out, and it's going to have, new characters from all three of us, or, of course, it didn't happen, and it didn't have to be. This was three of the Titans on the same stage, standing next to each other, just saying, hey, enjoy our show. Here you go. Hans Zimmer at the 2018 awards. Okay. They designed a whole entire new theme, and this is supposed to be the new theme for the Game Awards period. So I think all those other shows we discussed earlier all have some kind of show, some kind of theme or tune or something. And Hans Zimmer made the one for the Game Awards. Cool. Best narrative. Here we go, Chris. And Adam too, I guess, but mainly Chris. Best narrative right off the bat. Red Dead 2 Redemption.
Yep.
Red Dead Redemption 2, sorry. I have to throw this out immediately. This is why I wanted to just go down the list and make points about it, because Chris owns Red Dead Redemption 2 and has played it.
Mhm.
Adam owns Red Dead Redemption 2 and played it a little teeny bit, but has the ability to play it and can play it and potentially will play it in the near future. All I know is from the quick looks I've watched and gameplay footage and hearing most of the gaming channels that I subscribe to talk about it. And I've heard vastly polar opposites about this game.
Yeah.
I've heard people that say this is the greatest thing ever, fucking this is the GOAT right here, this is what it is. I've heard other people say I was into it at first, but it's really slow and boring, to this game is shit. So
Yep.
it's hard for me to jump on this and be like, man, fuck Red Dead Redemption 2 for making all them awards at it, because I haven't played it. But
this is where it's kind of important to define what narrative is. Narrative is the story itself.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Not the execution of said story.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. And that's why I'm wondering how Red Dead won it. I mean, I don't think there's going to be... I could be completely wrong.
I mean,
but
it has
I'm
a decent story, so I don't mind it being a nominee at all. But I would put like Spider-Man over it, especially after replaying it again earlier and seeing the ending again and enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's so good. Red Dead was solid, but not Spider-Man good or God of War good.
And that was another thing I was going to ask is like, how would its story stack up to something like, and I've heard nothing but awesome things about the story from God of War.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as, don't look at like the flash and the flavor, just like if you were to tell someone in your, if you were relaying to a friend the story of one versus the story of another, how interesting would the story of, Red Dead be compared to anything else?
Yeah.
It's like, there's this cowboy and he goes around and he kills people and then he saves this dude and then the dude saves him and then they have sex and then yay. Or whatever the story actually is. But, how well does that stack up without any of the flash, the flavor, or the acting? How well does that hold up to God of War or whatever
I don't
else
think it does.
contender?
And I'll tell you now, Detroit Become Human being a nominee in there. Oh yeah, Detroit's got a pretty fucking. It kind of falters toward the end, gets a little campy-ish, a little bit. I see what's coming-ish, but yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, gameplay aside, like you said, just focusing on the story itself. Yeah, Detroit Become Human. That was a good story.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
So. You're probably gonna hear this. It may slip out of me as I go down this fucking recap, but RDR2 got a lot of fucking awards, and I was getting kind of fucking arm scratchy about it, because it's I don't know. It's hard for me to I'm gonna say it even though it has no weight. I don't think it deserves as many awards as it got. I have no weight behind that. I have no backing, no personal anything. But yeah, they were just knocking them out. Just award.
I'm gonna say that if it deserved as many awards as it got, then the award that it didn't get, it should have fucking got.
Yep.
There should be hands down.
Yep. A new Marvel game coming out, Ultimate Alliance. It's got the X-Men are back in the game, which good. We're gonna hopefully start seeing X-Men being pushed back into all forms of media, comics, movies, games, and all that. So it was just nice to see that. Curiously, it's gonna be done by Team Ninja. All right, now I'm in. Sure, I'll take a Team Ninja game. They showed that commercial that's been playing around on major television right now, the whole wake up commercial. I've told my wife this too. I don't know why that commercial just bugs me. It's a lot of the not normie, but it's a lot of the bipedal regular games being shown, and the whole wake up thing just annoys me. I don't know. It's just personal random tick. Sorry, I guess. I like how they kept interspersing throughout this whole presentation Super Smash Brothers, because Super Smash Brothers Ultimate was going to be being released that night. It was being released in hours, and all the adverts for that were saying that. Like, they'd be like, Super Smash Brothers it's coming out in a couple hours. hope you're ready. And it was like they were really pushing being aware that their game is coming out a couple hours after the Game Awards. I thought that was really cool how they did that. Best Performance Award. Best Performance, Red Dead Redemption 2. I think the main actor in that.
Arthur Morgan.
Yeah.
Roger
Arthur
Clark
Morgan.
is his name.
Yeah.
That played him.
Okay, beating out Connor from Detroit, sure. Maybe, possibly, but he played a really good character.
Yeah, he was really good.
Beating out Christopher Judge. I know I'm going to be really heavy-handed with this God of War, but come the fuck on. Are you fucking kidding me? This was a whole entire character dynamic change for Kratos. Completely different character. This was not just a run around grunt scream character. He had so much fucking emotion when it came to everything going on around him, and especially to the kid. I can't do it, Chris. I'll be here all night. I just don't think it should have got it. Whatever. No weightless argument.
Yeah.
Weightless argument.
I even thought the woman that played Cassandra, she actually did in Assassin's Creed, she did a really good job as well. And I thought she might have been my top pick other than maybe Kratos. Because it, like I said, when I played it, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best Music Award got announced next. Went to Red Dead Redemption 2. Got it beat
Best
out
music.
Yeah.
Yep.
Best score/music. Beat out Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, and Octopath Traveler. I will say I've heard nothing but great things about the music of Octopath Traveler, and admittedly, okay, I mean, God of War had good music and good scores, but it's not like every single music piece in that game riveted me. But it makes me think, did every single score/music in Red Dead Redemption 2 rivet everybody? I haven't heard people,
annoying quick.
I haven't heard anybody talk just the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I've never heard anything positive about the sound coming from Red Dead.
So, all right.
Negative, really. I haven't really heard anything negative either, but you think if it was that good, somebody would be saying, man, you remember that theme that played when Arthur took he was like, I love you, man, and he started kissing that dude? Yeah, that was great. But you never really hear anything like that.
Like the orchestra, which I want to talk about the orchestra at some point, but at the end when they did the Red Dead song, as much as I enjoyed their playing, they were fucking amazing. I was so tired of hearing that song. I did not want to hear it again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Chris, help me out. I forget who did Chris judge, and I forget the boy's real life character. Whose award did they present? Was it the best audio design? Because I didn't take
because I don't think they would have done something that they were nominated for.
Well, I forget who it presented. I'm sorry. Somebody can correct us later. But Christopher Judge, a.k.a. Kratos, and I forget your name. I'm so sorry, young boy, but the boy who did the voice for Boy in Atreus in God of War got on stage to present an award. And it's Christopher Judge doing his fucking voice, which is just a Kratos voice, and it was so cool to hear it. And it goes, and the award goes to, dramatic pause, read it, boy. I was like, yes, they get it. Oh, this fucking, they get it so well. I love it. I don't know.
Audience lost their minds, too.
Yes, I thought it was awesome. That's yeah. He knows it, man. They know, and Christopher Judge knows. Yeah, I know what you're here for. Game Awards 2018, very pro women and pro disabled. So, yeah, a lot of adverts and commercials and whatnot throughout the whole entire show about, I'm from this third world country and I wanted to be a game designer and I did this, I did all this schooling or whatever, and now I'm with a company, or I'm a disabled gamer and it's been really hard for me to play games throughout the years, but now companies are designing all these things and I'm able, and I'm a woman gamer and all this thing, and the abled gamer thing really just inspires me. I'm all about that, and I'm so glad that so many companies are being about that now. Like, you're seeing all these charities coming out and all this stuff, and it is fortunately / unfortunately, do not know any person in my personal life that has, like they're missing their entire left arm, or they can't. It's hard for them to move properly, and they need specially designed equipment to play games. I don't have that in my life, so I can't personally relate to it. But that is awesome as fucking hell to me that they are going out of their way to go to like individual people and go, I don't fully understand your disease or illness or whatever. Explain to me what can't you do and what can you do, and I'm going to design something so you can play video games so you are not left out. And I love that. And I saw some of those commercials and adverts during this thing, and it's springing up more and more. I see it advertised during GDQ. I saw it advertised just in commercials. There's a commercial right now that was playing before we went before the Fantastic Beasts, and it's like a disabled kid around a bunch of people, and they're playing games, and he got to fucking play. I love that. I think it's awesome. Thank you. Not just Game Awards, but period. Companies that are doing this.
When Microsoft put out their little ad saying, hey, we've made this thing for people with disabilities to be able to play a game, and you can mix and match and do all these things, plug in the pieces you need. Yeah, that blew my mind. Yes. It was out of nowhere too.
Yeah,
but it blew my mind, and it was like, finally,
it blew our minds, and it's blowing up too. Like, it's just being more and more in our face, and I'm like, fuck yeah, do it, man, bring it. Awesome. More Smash Ultimate pushes. I loved it, man. I just love they kept just a reminder. You're a couple hours away from Smash Ultimate. I hope you're ready. It was so nice. It was so cool to hear it. The LeBron James of sitting. Oh man, Michael, you got to do so much better at taking notes.
Savage. No one knows what that means.
The LeBron James of sitting.
Now we have our episode title.
I don't know. Somebody, you know what? I'm going to have to go back through the awards now and watch around this time, and I'm probably going to figure it out and go, oh, this fucking guy did something.
It was probably related to something esports related.
It may be. Well,
I remember the line you're talking about, but I ignored it for the most part because it's like, okay, you got to make some, lame sports comparison.
Yeah. Oh God, that's bugging me now, Chris. Because I remember now. Yeah, I've actually got it in quotes. So yeah, somebody said this. You're gonna have to You're gonna have to stay in your seats. I don't fucking know. I'll figure it out later. Next awesome, like, holy fuck yeah thing of this show. Devil Trigger performed live on stage. I am all fucking about this every time I see it. A few years ago, they did, like I mentioned earlier, they had Mick Gordon on stage doing fucking Doom medleys, playing hard, like heavy fucking metal on stage, and it's video game music. I love it. Fuck yes. I was fucking rocking out. Awesome. And plus, I can't wait for Devil May Cry 5.
I don't know how your notes are organized, but that was part of the best esports player announcement. The person that was doing the presenting, he made the comment. He said that it recognizes the most dominant athlete in esports. Whoever wins this is basically the LeBron James of sitting.
Yes, thank you, Chris. That's what it was.
So you're like 6 presentations ahead.
Well, I skipped a lot of shit that I didn't care about, and I kind of sort of stopped taking all the notes of every single award. So,
I mean, if only there was a spreadsheet that had them all.
Yeah.
If only.
I take all these notes, do the hard work.
So that was best esports player. All right. So best audio design went to Red Dead Redemption 2. Best art direction went to Return of Obra Dinn. I think this is when I sent a message over Discord about I haven't played Obra Dinn, and I need to now because apparently this is a good game.
So it's about like a ghost ship that comes back, and the whole thing has got like this artistic style, and you just go through and kind of try to figure out like the what actually have it.
I cannot get past the art style. I do not like it.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like the whole thing is very black and white, and
except for, I mean, you say that, but it's actually got like if it was black and white, it'd be okay, probably for me. But it's not black and white. It's tannish, whitish. Whatever color you want to call it, tan and white.
I think the good takeaway from this right here is if I'm trying to double check the list before I just say this, but I think I'm right here. This is the first time that finally something beat out Red Dead Redemption 2 for something. So good.
Yeah, in the current list, yeah.
In the current list, yeah. But yeah, Adam, I do want to check this game out. It looks interesting. And again, if it's, was it you last year that said if a game wins a gaming award, you haven't played it, you're gonna add it to your list, or am I thinking of another?
If it wins like Game of the Year, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like for this year, I went and played Celeste because it was a nominee.
Really? That's another one. That's
why
another one
I've
heard a lot about. Yeah. I'm going to take that a step further with the next category that got an award. Astrobot Rescue Mission got Best VR AR Game of the Year. And I can point to just one podcast. However, I've heard this across the board as well. Apparently, and now Adam, don't take my quote now. This is from Easy Allies, and I'm paraphrasing, but if you are looking for a game that says, hey, now you need to get in to VR, apparently Astrobot is that game. I've heard all the allies play it. Pretty much like 80% of the allies played it, and all of them were like, yeah, man, I was not expecting what I got. I was blown away. This thing is fucking awesome. So maybe...
I still haven't looked at it.
Yeah, we'll see. Man, if I have a friend that has a PlayStation VR set or whatever, maybe I'll try it out. But I'm sorry, even to the allies... I'm not sold on anything VR yet. Not ready to make that leap. But I'd like to try this. As much praise as I hear about it, I'd like to try it and go, all right, what do you got? What do you got? Let's see.
I don't have the space for it.
Yeah. Content Creator of the Year goes to Ninja.
Surprise.
I didn't know any of these. Now,
because all of them are Fortnite streamers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Fortnite.
The next one, this is where the controversy-ish comes up, and I got some things to say about this. Sounds like what all three do. Best esports player, won by a Mr. Echo Fox, or his main name is Sonic Fox. Now, again,
He's on
same
Team
thing.
Echo Fox.
Yeah, same thing like the rest of these guys, unfortunately. I don't follow this scene. I don't know it enough. But, so the guy gets on stage. Immediately as he's coming up to stage, he has a furry suit on. Okay. I thought this was a gag. I thought it was a gimmick or a bit, and I'm assuming that it is. But let me make this clear though. I thought that was like his thing from the jump. Like, no, I just dressed up in a goofy, fox outfit because I'm Sonic Fox.
His name's Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was just my gimmick. Then he gets up on stage and starts talking. Now, let me give some positives out of the way, okay? Because I don't want this to sound like some bash fest, but I've got some shit to say. This motherfucker was possibly the happiest person I've seen on stage getting an award probably ever. This kid was smiling, was happy, he was stuttering, he couldn't get all of his sentences out correctly. He was like fucking... like 11 out of 10 for enthusiasm of, wow, I can't believe I won this. But the weird shit that he was doing and saying was throwing me so much out of it that I was like, yeah, man, it's awesome. Wait, why would you say, okay, well, yeah, man, I'm happy for you. Woo, to wait, why are you saying, I don't understand. So basically he tells everybody on stage at a live Game Awards presentation that he's a furry. He's black, obviously. You could see that from his appearance, and he's gay. And he's like, apparently, I'm everything that a Republican hates. And I don't know why he chose.
Cringe.
I don't know why he chose this stage for this format. 1, 2. As Adam brought up as well, in our sidebar conversation about this, I don't know why they didn't screen all these people and say, hey, you 5 are nominees for blank award. You need to have some sort of, even if you free speech it, just wing it, but you need to have some sort of like a template for what you're going to say, and we need to screen that. That way you don't get up on stage and go, hey, everybody, I'm a furry and I'm gay. Cool, right? Let's make this clear. This is from the End of Time cast, not just Michael. None of us here on this podcast have anything against whatever you do in your sexual life. If you're gay, furry, lesbian, bi, tri, animals, I don't fucking do what you want to do.
Well,
but
my part. Let's not.
Yeah,
I'm not going to condone the animal part.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're not going to condone it. And of course, there's more illegal things we're not going to get into. But you get what we're saying, okay? We're not here to bash these ways of life. But it is odd that somebody would get on stage and win an award, and instead of even half of the usual stuff like thanking all these people, and man, I remember the first time I played this game. And I never thought I would get here, and man, I'm just so happy and so excited. You guys are great. Thank you to my team. Thanks
for all the guys back in gym that beat me up and made me play this game every day.
Let me tell everybody that's watching this that I'm a furry and I'm a homosexual. I don't know what that has to do with the award that you were given. That makes me.
That was awkward.
Yeah.
And it just developed into cringe when he brought the politics into it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, God, just stop. Just fucking stop. I wish the hook had come out at that point.
I mentally and emotionally was on such a roller coaster during this whole 2-3 minutes he was on stage. Because on the one hand, I was like on my feet clapping like, dude, you are enthusiastic. You are happy. You are like, it's almost like you are shocked that you won this. And you don't seem like the kind of person that gets, awards and rewarded occasionally. To why I don't care about your sexual preference, man. To yeah, all right. To I again, I don't care what color you are. I don't know what is this? What is this? So
I just thought it was awkward. I mean, I don't really see an issue with him, mentioning these parts of, these communities, or these are his ways of life. It's the way he did it was kind of really the issue.
It was just kind of blurted out there. It was like, I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and that and the other and goodbye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
the way I look at, like I said, I think it's very awkward, but good on him. You're accomplishing all these things and you're proud of who you are. Be you.
That's cool. I just wish that maybe he'd, taken a couple minutes to work on his public speaking.
Yeah.
So, best debut indie game, The Messenger won that. Okay, I'm down with that because I haven't played Donut County or Florence or Moss or Yakuza Island Express, even though I own the last one now. Thank you, Steam Sale. Appreciate it. Best family game went to Overcooked 2. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about Overcooked, but it's mainly on these bigger venues like this.
Yeah. I'm really surprised Mario Party did not win this.
Yeah.
Now, I have not played this one yet, but Mario Party's a classic family game.
Yep.
That is a huge franchise. That's an awesome series.
Overcooked 2 beat out Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo.
I don't care. Labo's not a fucking game.
Starlink, Battle for Atlas, and the Super Mario Party. So
I really thought Mario Party was going to win. I'm not surprised. I'm not super surprised, I should say, that Overcooked won it.
Yeah.
But Mario Party.
Best fighting game went to Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Now, it only beat out Street Fighter V, the arcade edition, Soul Calibur 6, and Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. But, okay. Dragon Ball Z Fighter getting some high praise, high recognition. And I
thought it was...
Is it really going to be up there with those kind of games? Is it that technical?
It apparently it is. This thing has become like I am at Evo with all the big boys, and I am drawing equal, if not more. I've heard people say that this game has drawn more crowd than the usual big hitters. So
damn.
Yeah. What I'm curious about is there no fifth game that could even be a contender?
Yeah, that was also
most of them
weird.
had 5 or 6.
Yeah,
most 5, but there's only 4. So what's missing? Is there a fighting game out there, or are we just that skim on fighting games?
I think we're just skim, man. It feels like it's been a fighter light year, Best strategy game went into Into the Breach, beat out Banner Saga 3, BattleTech, Frostpunk, and Valkyria Chronicles 4. I kind of just want to throw my vote into Valkyria, but I haven't played any of these other ones, so can't really say.
I played the first Banner Saga and beat it. I think I beat it. Or I got pretty far enough I didn't beat it. Solid game. Frostpunk is a very niche strategy game. It's good, but I don't know. I don't think I'm surprised it's even a nominee, but I can understand it. But Valkyria Chronicles blows both of them out of the water.
Yeah.
I was about to say, Valkyria Chronicle, I haven't played either of the other games, but Valkyria Chronicles is ridiculously fucking, it's a great strategy game.
Yeah. I would vote for it just out of sheer principle alone, but that doesn't always win, things, so whatever. Sure. So I wanted to speak just a little bit about the little bit they played next. I know I have seen that little fucking character online before, the little puppet. I thought the little selfies bit, while it did run a little long, I did chuckle. I thought it was kind of cute. I just don't relate to the puppet character or the guy that was talking to, but it made me chuckle, so whatever. Next we had, I keep losing my damn tabs on my own computer because I can't computer good. I'm bouncing between this list now and my own personal notes. So, Indie Game came up next.
Yep.
Celeste won that one, beat out Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Oberdin, and The Messenger.
So you weren't on the episode where I talked about, because I played Celeste, like I mentioned ago, and I did beat it. I completely went through the game. I told Adam this, but I'll repeat it for you and any new listeners. I played Celeste because it was a nominee for Game of the Year, and I understand why it got the reaction it did from the gaming audience. It is a very emotional and personal type game that people can relate to. With it focuses on, it's a platformer, but the whole principle behind the game is very focused on inner trouble, self-love, issues you deal with, and that's kind of the only reason, to me, it's getting this praise.
Yeah.
Sure, it has decent mechanics, but I feel like a
very
game
divisive.
like that, it certainly should
Divisive
be
or
praised
just
for what
niche?
I think a little bit of both.
I mean, it's not, however you want to look at it. I think it's good for what it did, but I don't think that alone should be a reason for it to throw it in nominee categories. Best indie, totally cool with. It's an indie game. I totally understand it being a nominee there, but when you throw it in as a nominee for Game of the Year, you need more than that kind of stuff.
You need more than just the impact of what the game was about.
Yeah. Because speaking of our next category, games for impact. Totally, absolutely a home for this game. Absolutely understand it winning. I'm totally cool with that because it had an impact.
Yep. So, next part, again, this is another point in this show that was, man, I'm telling you, just so many clap moments, so many fuck yeah moments. So, one, Ed Boon comes out on stage. Ed Boon, for those that don't know, one of the co-creators of Mortal Kombat, one of the men, gets on stage.
Scorpion.
Yeah, gets on stage and says, "Hey, so I'm here," and again, paraphrasing, not quoting. So you're probably wondering why I'm here. Well, I'm here to present the award for the best sports/racing game. Yeah, so here we go. Here are the nominees. Screen cuts out, goes black, lightning effects all over the place. Fucking Mortal Kombat 11 trailer starts playing. And I was like, you fucking guys, that was fucking cool. When the lights come back on, he's like, I don't know what happened there. I think somebody got the video messed up because here are the racing game nominees. And it was FIFA, Mario Aces Tennis, NBA 2K19, Pro Evo Soccer 219, and Forza Horizon 4 won. Again, another game.
I'm surprised FIFA didn't win.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, FIFA's a badass racing game.
Sports/racing.
Yeah, sports. So I've heard nothing but great things about Forza Horizon 4, so sounds like it was well deserved, but who gives a shit, man? We just got a Mortal Kombat 11 trailer, and so well done.
That's
Such a
one
nice
way to just steal the thunder from those people winning their award right there.
Yeah,
such a nice little troll.
Waited all year for this. Fuck us, right?
So did you not have an issue with the music in the trailer?
I have heard people say, yeah, that music was out of touch, out of character for the trailer. That's not the first time that this has been done, though. I could have sworn there's been another fighting game trailer that had this, rap music in it. It didn't bother me. I mean, Mortal Kombat's very poppy, and at the time, right now, that rap artist is very popular. So, I put 2 and 2 together. It didn't bother me.
It didn't make me hate the trailer, but I thought it was very out of place. Yeah,
there is a cut of this trailer that has the old school Mortal Kombat movie theme in it spliced in instead of the So if anyone wants to check it out, it's pretty cool. Best game direction. Here we go. God of War starting to fucking strut its stuff. Finally, A Way Out, Detroit, Spider-Man, and Red Dead 2. Red Dead getting beat out by God of War. Okay, I'm cool with that. Mainly because again, Red Dead 2 didn't get it. Best action adventure game. Okay, God of War starting to tip the scales again. We got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. God of War takes the crown for that one. Yeah. Best ongoing game. Really upset that Final Fantasy 14 isn't in this, but we got Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, No Man's Sky, Destiny 2, and the winner was Fortnite. Sound like you had something you want to say.
When I went through the nominees, because I actually did their community vote thing, I actually voted for all these categories. I think I actually voted for No Man's Sky on this, just because of the sheer change and how much better the game was.
The amount of effort that went into, guys, we're so fucking sorry. We are going to fix this. Yeah, I can understand.
So I was disappointed to see Fortnite win this.
I guess they can't do that, I don't know. Best ongoing game. Oh, sorry, just did that. Did I not do the... okay, so my notes are finished. I don't know which of these two came first, so let me just get the multiplayer.
Mine are in order.
Well, I'm saying I took a note on what happened in the event because
gotcha.
So out of nowhere the screen goes black again and the fucking Persona 5 Phantom Thieves logo pops up on the screen. And I did say it earlier, stand up moments. I actually stood the fuck up in my hotel room when this happened. I had the phone in my hand. I was like, what? I hope I didn't wake anybody up at this time of night because it was pretty late, in St. Croix at this time of night. But I was like, what?
I thought this was for the dancing music game.
No.
That's what I thought it was.
No.
When it first came up.
Yeah. So I'm standing up and I'm watching this and I have to control myself because I'm asking questions out loud instead of watching the fucking trailer thing that's going on. I'm like, what the fuck? Is this Persona 6? Are we getting an announcement? Is this going to happen? Why the fuck is Joker here? Why? I was like, shut up. All right, shut up and watch. And it shows the fucking envelope flip over and it's a Smash Brothers logo. And I was like, oh, wow. What? Fucking Joker from Persona 5, a PlayStation 4 exclusive, is coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. The fucking doors are off the hinges now, folks. There is you can't discredit anything. Adam, you can come to me right now and say that fucking Dom from Gears of War cannot be on the Nintendo Switch. I will slap you across your face and say, fuck you, Joker from Persona 5 is on there. Anything can happen. Like, there are no boundaries anymore. I don't have to go through I think there's like 3 degrees of separation of how this can actually happen. I don't know the separation, and I don't fucking care. There is a Persona character on Smash Brothers Ultimate now. So, 1, that's cool. Even though I don't have the game, I may never get the game, that's still fucking cool to have a guest character like that. 2, that is a PlayStation exclusive on this system. And 3, hopefully that means that Persona 5 will get released on the Switch, and that's more audience out there that can play this game. So, odd, out of nowhere, but I totally support this news. Cool stuff. Best multiplayer game goes to Fortnite. Okay, sure. Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves got in there. Monster Hunter World. I could see that. Destiny 2 Forsaken. Chris could see that. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I think we've mentioned this before, man. I've heard nothing but great things about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So
I actually think I voted for Black Ops 4 on this one, and I haven't played it.
But
just because of all the good things I've seen and heard.
I mean, it's Fortnite. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So here's where the night gets kind of wonky for me. It wasn't my battery. Something happened on my phone. Right, there was a presentation going on or something. There was like a show or something, and in the middle of that, my phone, I think it went off or an update happened. Something happened, and I lost the screen. I went no. When I finally got back here to the Game Awards show, everybody was clapping because God of War won. Like they had already announced it. They already went through the nominees and everything, and it was just the fucking God of War team and everybody on stage and clapping. And I was like, I was so fucking happy, man. I think I did a backflip and pulled 50 muscles. I don't know, man. Now, Adam, you had something to say about this though, about God of War winning this award for Game of the Year when other games had so many nominations. Is that right?
No, it's more like if Red Dead really deserved to win all that, one of these has got to give. Either it didn't deserve all the categories it won in,
yeah,
or it deserved to win this.
Yeah. So, Red Dead 2 won 1, 2, 3, and then God of War won 1, 2. Yeah, and I agree. I totally agree with you on this, man. If there was 20 categories. And Red Dead 2 won 10 of them, and God of War won 3. There's a discussion here, gentlemen, about all these categories where one wins a lot but doesn't win Game of the Year. Does seem a little bit odd. But, man, God of War 1, don't give a fuck. I was extremely happy. Extremely happy because, and just for people that didn't see it or just to say it, Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, Spider-Man, Celeste, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, all of those got beat out by God of War. And that's fucking cool, man. I'm really happy.
Even though we all know that Fortnite was Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hands down.
Did you do one of the Fortnite dances when it won either one of those awards?
Yeah, I did both.
Did you get up and did you floss your ass? I guess is what it is.
got flossy. What? Isn't somebody getting sued for like stealing?
Yeah.
I think that's the joke he's making.
I forget his name, but the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah, Carlton apparently is suing, and there's so many sour reasons why that's not gonna work. But yeah, so as far as the actual awards themselves go, I was getting really salty for no real strength reason when Red Dead 2 won everything, but I was definitely happy that God of War. I mean, it is an accomplishment. That game is it is an accomplishment, and it deserves all the recognition it gets. Can't wait for the next two, which we know are coming. Oh man, good stuff. Any final thoughts on this Game Awards show, this presentation? Anything about this 2018 Game Awards?
The orchestra.
Yeah.
Man.
So, go ahead.
That was fantastic throughout the entire show. And I think I've actually gotten a little bit more of an appreciation for it lately because one of my kids is actually a band kid. And I just saw him play a couple weeks prior to the Game Awards or something like that, around the same time. So seeing, him playing and seeing this orchestra and, him being a gamer, it's like, this is something he can aspire to. These people are playing game music and just performing a phenomenal show.
Yeah, it was good music. Not gonna lie, I kind of prefer but I'm a metal guy, so I was all about the Devil Trigger on stage, and I don't think anything on stage yet, and it's gonna be sometime before something does, can top fucking, ladies and gentlemen, Mick Gordon. And I was like, what? And he just jams, just fucking shreds your face off live on stage. And it's that's going to be my pick for years and years and years to come. Corey Barlog, man, fucking congratulations to you, man. Well deserved. God of War is so good. Glad you won it. Well, gentlemen, I guess that's another episode. What do you think, audience at large, about the 2018 Game Awards? Positive, negatives, things you like, the moments you dislike, what would you like to see change? We could probably have an episode, if Adam wants to, where we could just dismantle the whole show and just make it better. If it's, whatever changes we think could make it better. So yeah, what feedback do you have on the Game Awards, either this show or at large? Any games that we mentioned, have you been through Xenogears ever? What are your thoughts on it? Persona 5, have you taken our advice yet? We now have 3 people on this podcast that are like, yeah, must play. Have you taken our advice, or from anybody else that's told you to play this game? If not, this is like recommendation number 54 by now. You really should play that game. If you did, tell us about it. What you think about it? What about Destiny 2? Are you into Destiny at all? What are your thoughts, gripes, complaints about that whole entire franchise? Are you up to date on what's been going on? Are you current? Anything like this, any gaming news, anime news, anything you want to discuss with us, we love to hear feedback from you. As we all 3 say, the conversation is what we do this for. It's nice for us 3 to talk to each other and present it to you. It's even better if we can hear back from you and talk to you. There are many ways you can get a hold of us. You can go to Facebook and search for End of Timecast. We have a Facebook page. You can send us a direct message, post on our wall, and maybe how you found this episode right here. We have an email. You can send us email to endoftimecast@gmail.com. That's endoftimecast@gmail.com. No funny numbers in there. Just spell it as you heard it. We have a Twitter page still. You can tweet us, retweet us, however you want to get a hold of us. We love to hear from you about anything you want to talk about, gaming, non-gaming, whatever. We're open book and we're willing to talk. That's going to do it for tonight's episode. Hopefully we'll catch you in about a week for the next episode. Yeah. And so until next time, I'm Michael.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Adam.
Good night, everybody.